Lightning cracks, moves at max. It's movie night. The gang's all here, gripped with fear. More horror films, alright. From bad to worse and worse to shit, you'll beg to fucking quit. Malevolent Movies has arrived in stereo now, nowhere to hide.
Back in the saddle again. Oh, okay. How do we start? Oh, yeah, okay. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Malevolent Movies, the podcast, episode number 37. 37? And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, Kevin Smith fans? Yeah.
Joe sucked 37 dicks to bring us here today.
That's why
he's not
his
here.
jaw hurts too much.
Too much gab.
Yeah, he's like Rod Stewart. Yeah, he's getting his stomach pumped right now.
Oh, God.
And the doctor was like, I didn't expect to see this much mud.
Jesus.
Oh, how's it going, guys? How you doing? How you feeling? How you flowing?
Good. Yeah. We're
going good.
We're doing movie stuff still.
It's great that the fans have completely forgotten the event series. They never existed.
Yeah.
They're not expecting any conclusions to big story elements.
Nope.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, everything's just A-okay. Back to one.
Yep.
What we need to do is we just need to start dividing these finales into multiple parts, like a lot of shows do.
Yeah.
You know, so you get season 5, the first half, you'll get it, and then a year you get the second half. So we hit them with the first part of the Easter extravaganza, and then, you know,
Yeah.
a year later they get the second piece.
Yeah.
Everybody's cool with it. That's how
We'll
things
have our
changed,
own award season, just like the real, instead of like Oscars, Golden Globes, Grammys, it's summer series, Halloween, winter series.
Well, just like the Oscars this year, we can just like get rid of most of the categories and only have 2
Yeah,
or
it
3,
doesn't
and then
matter.
at the end we'll say, oh, by the way, Joe Buckley won biggest dummy.
Hold on.
It was
hold
held
on,
in a
hold
special
on. I think
event.
we're tapping into something here. We're tapping into something. Now, from time to time, Joe will go back and listen to stuff, but I don't believe he listens very well. So I have a good feeling that Joe's never going to hear what I'm about to say. I think that we should secretly do a Razzies version of the Roddies, and we just blast Joe with every award, and he's not there to collect them, and then at the end we smash him because fuck you,
Yeah.
Joe. But also, speaking of Mr. Buckley is not here. This is an adult night. This is just for the men. But Joe is on assignment for Malevolent Movies. I have given Joe a task for a future episode. He's already fucked it up because
Seconds
he
into doing it,
included
I'm sure.
Tad. Oh, it was within literally seconds. I said, "Hey, Joe, I got an idea. Run with it." And he said, "I've already found it," and which of course means it was already in his fucking pop culture internet noggin. So I said, maybe put a little bit more effort in. So Joe's gonna have an episode coming up, and I'm sure Ryan is gonna have a good time.
Oh, boy. Well, I mean, if it's Joe off the top of his noggin, it can only be Japanese cartoons, David Lynch, you know, Kubrick, and
Tad.
Nope.
But so unless he Googles stuff like he did when he found out about Blood Diner.
You couldn't even guess what it is.
No.
What it is. I'm gonna, if he finds something else, I'm gonna go with it. But there
Is
is
something we're gonna have to watch?
Yeah,
Wait, what?
for the fans. Our 1,019 fans as of today.
Oh, hey. You know what? For the 1,019 fans,
all
I'll
right.
watch a Joe
Yeah.
movie. That's fine.
That's a good buffer because, you know, if we were 1,001, I'd be like, oh, we're going to get back under that 1K, you know, how it fluctuates. But 19, that's a good buffer.
Ain't bad.
I think we're going to stay 1,000 forever.
Well,
So I don't know if anybody out there, let us know in
Okay,
the
higher,
comments. Did you share Malevolent Movies recently? Because we got a spike of like well over 12 or 1,500 downloads
Out of nowhere.
in like a week. Something
no
happened.
new episodes went up.
Yeah.
It's about
Yeah,
time.
I mean, yeah, but
Nothing.
It's the least you could do.
Yeah, but also why is everybody watching or listening to our Thanksgiving episode? Why that one?
It's the title. It's one of the cultier movies. It's a famous, you know, if you will, of the stuff. It's kind of like if you look at our Clash of the Commentaries, the biggest numbers on those are the big titles,
Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
obscure stuff. So
So our top 10 are like mostly recent things, but our top 3 are Thanksgiving, the Slashing, the Ladies' Night episode, and then The Nest. Those are our top 3 right
the
now.
Nest.
Wow.
Oh,
Really?
guess who's in number 4?
what?
What?
Anybody? The Lunar Pack.
That's because Joe Broccoli or whatever his name was, he's been just downloading it over and over and
Joe
over.
Broccoli.
Joe Licorice.
Joe Licorice.
Yeah.
I knew it was
Licorice?
some sort of food that's a very divisive
Joe
food.
scalloped potatoes.
Licorice broccoli.
Can we, on the next episode when Joe's on, can we just call him Joe Broccoli, but like nobody comments on why we're
that's
doing
fine.
it? Just keep calling him Joe Broccoli. Okay, Broccoli.
Oh, I see,
Okay,
I see.
Broccoli.
I see. So I'm the vegetable. Okay, I see. So I'm the vegetable. Okay. So you're saying I'm the green vegetable. Okay.
Oh God, Ryan, what are we watching today, man?
We are watching a movie released recently, like 2021, but 2019, I believe, is when it was shot. It is called Death to Metal.
Right out the gate, I'm going to say that this was a movie that Sean should have been a part of.
God, I wish Sean was on here. He and I both share a very deep love for this subgenre of metal. And the growling and the grunting and the Cookie Monster sounds. I love this shit.
The Cookie Monsters.
Yeah, this what you call this kind of vocalist, Cookie Monster, because that's what they sound like. But I love this kind of stuff, and I was very. Tyler was kind of showing some trailers to me.
Everybody's still talking about Super Hot, so I wanted to have a good time. So I was trying to find some more movies like our movies.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan, this one technically didn't take the cake. No, I felt bad because you weren't on the what's the last movie we watched? Donkey Danko.
Oh, the Good Ghouls Gone Ghouls.
Bad. Yeah. So I decided I would pick this for you, but then you had double duty, so fuck you.
Yeah, I did get double duty, but it was okay. It was okay because it's a light, airy movie.
Is it Attack of the Killer Shrews? Was that the one that was technically the lead?
Yeah.
That was a Zach and Trevor pick?
Yeah.
Was that the Big F guys though? Which one was the Big F guys?
The Big F guys?
I wouldn't appear on that one.
But Ryan, what do you mean? Big F was wonderful. Or are you thinking
Yeah,
Chubbies?
but Chubby, yeah, well, that was Chubbies. Yeah, that was the one that was the Big F guys. Right off the bat, it was the main guy and then the guy who ended up playing the Bigfoot. They were right in the trailer. I was like, no, I stopped. I didn't finish watching it. I was like, oh,
not that one.
I ain't watching that. You guys can. Tell me about get drunk on that one and tell me about it. Which I might say, if ever there was an episode that I wasn't on that I got to listen purely as a fan, that was the perfect one. It was tight, it was short, it was ridiculous, and it was hilarious. And I loved every second of it. Loved it.
What were your top 3 moments?
Your teeth are falling out.
Easy. That was the best part.
There was some real crude thing that Trevor said. I can't remember what it was, but he turns like, oh, don't worry, this will be beeped out. It wasn't. I don't remember what it was, but I remember it was like, Jesus, Trevor coming in hot.
It was an after hours episode. It was,
We didn't even know we were recording.
Yeah. My favorite.
And then
I don't know what's your last one. I have one too.
And then there was something Zach did too. Zach said, or it was in conjunction with Joe, ripping on Joe. I can't remember all the specifics of these, but I just recall remembering, I was like, yeah, look at Zach going after.
When you're not around, I almost have to solely be the one who initiates attacking Joe pretty hard.
Well, what I like, Zach, is that you come at, it's like I come at him hard, but I'm also there with, I cut him a little bit, but then I would put some salve on it.
Well, you laugh at his jokes
more than
anybody.
You just cut him, man. You just straight cut him. And I
the only way he's going to learn.
He needs to be cut.
There's no salve coming from you after the cut. If anything, it's iodine. And I love it.
It's the only way the boy's going to learn.
Hopefully.
But overall, though, it was a great episode. I loved listening to it.
Oh, good. Well, we're actually going to get to know this movie. Death to Metal. After a freak accident, a disturbed priest is transformed into a mutated killing machine on a mission to wipe out the godless fans of heavy metal music.
Yes. I did some cursory research into this movie. It looks to be that it was shot in Dubuque, Iowa. Totally kind of like us, a regional thing, a bunch of guys in an area and just making a movie. So I had a good time. I mean, I don't want to give it away yet, but I had a good time with Death to Metal. I had a good time with Death to Metal.
I will say that I enjoyed more than I expected I would. But I can't quite put my finger on. I didn't love it, but you guys might be able to help me explore why. Because I don't really know.
I'm in the same boat. And I think I have an idea of why, but I'll save it for kind of later on.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think so too. I think your results may vary depending on how you like. I mean, a lot of time in this movie, as we'll get to, is spent lovingly gazing upon the world of these bands and this kind of dankness. Bands playing dank little beer halls and stuff like that, and that's a world that I spent a lot of time in, especially not being a musician, but spending a lot of time in that world. And so, but I also like this weird genre of music. So perhaps that also, if you don't like this kind of music or you don't have an affinity for this weird world, yeah, it may not be quite as delicious. All right. So Death to Metal 2019, directed by Tim Connery. The movie opens with a title card that says, "For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of man." And that's attributed to Romans 1:18. We're then it's immediately followed up with another title card that says, "Fuck your God." And that's attributed to this song. And indeed, a black metal, death metal, growly, badass, blistering piece of music goes over the soundtrack. And indeed, if you listen closely, "Fuck your God, fuck your God" is repeated throughout the song.
Joe would have loved it.
He would have.
And so then we get an opening credits sequence, and during this opening credits, there's a scene playing, so it's like credits, shot, credit, shot. It's a black and white segment, letting us know that it's taking place in the past. We see some stereotypical metalheads, Joe Dirt types, mullets, and,
Joe Dirt. Sure. Like Meatloaf in Rocky Horror.
Yeah, very stereotypical, cut off shirts, throwing back beer, smoking, headbanging, doing all that. They're listening to this song, "Fuck Your God," on their boombox as they walk down a suburban sidewalk. Coming towards them, also on the sidewalk, is this nerdy little kid in a button-down dress shirt, clutching a massive leather-bound old Bible that's like half the size of him.
This little twerp had it coming.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
He was asking for it by what he was wearing.
Just looking at that kid triggered me because I have gotten 4 handwritten notes in my mailbox from the Jehovah's Witness in Peru. I don't know why they're targeting me. I don't know why they keep coming to my house, but
because you're so handsome and strong. Jesus needs you.
The Jehovah's
You're living in sin.
I have to celebrate holidays.
I think Nick might be
it's
onto
all
something.
I have to look forward to.
That's true.
No. These dang Jehovah's Witnesses keep coming to my house, so I would have beat the shit out of this kid. Or at least ripped up his Bible.
At the very least.
If I saw him.
Or you could have urinated on his Bible, which is what these guys
It's the least you can do.
But first they taunt the kid. These grown men, middle-aged grown men listening to metal, see this kid, they decide
I think they're supposed to be like, what, teenagers, technically?
Probably, but they look like us.
Oh, yeah, This guy was in the union. He already had his 10-year ring from the union. Yeah, he's this is a middle-aged group of fellas. But anyway, they start really, really hazing this kid. They ask him his name. He says his name is Milton. And because the name wasn't going to be like, he's not going to have a cool name. The nerd's got to have a nerd name, and Milton it is. Yeah, so they just start harassing Milton, talking shit to Milton. And then the kind of leader of this group of guys grabs the massive Bible from Milton as the others hold his arm, because Milton's like fighting them. This little kid, he's fighting and thrashing, so they're holding him by his arms. And the metalhead, the leader, says, "Sorry, but Satan promised me maiden tickets if I pissed on your Bible before the full moon." So he puts the Bible down. Pulls out a very weird wiener.
It's very small and
let's break that down.
Nick,
that wiener.
Nick, can you give an expert's opinion? That's a real dick, right? That's a real
lot of
weird
balls.
wiener.
There's a lot of balls.
I'll be honest. Normally, I would freeze frame and I would scrutinize the penis. This time, I decided I'm just gonna let it play out. I didn't get a great look at it. I as intrigued as I was. I could not tell. It looked the scrotal area. It sold very well.
the head of the penis was the same size as the scrotum, almost.
I mean, it can happen.
I've only seen so many dick and balls, but like
it was It was the way in which he was operating. It seems like he was like pushing on it to commence the stream.
Yeah, almost like he had to tap on the top.
This is fake.
He's got a prostate thing going on.
This is fake
so,
because
I'm gonna pull it up.
I'm looking at it right here.
Image, I don't think that there's an indent where the pee-pee hole would be, but there's no like hole. At least from what I can see.
Well, take a look at his dick.
It's very strong.
See,
and we get it.
It's like a pin prick. the urethra
in the prick.
Can we get a screenshot?
Oh, but see, it's spraying out. No, this is fake.
But you get a low angle. The thing is, you get a low angle. Yeah, you get a low angle shot, so you almost feel as if you're the Bible about to be urinated upon.
Yeah, it felt
it's
good.
It's a strong choice to start your movie off like this.
Very Hitchcockian. I felt like I was being peed on, but in fact, I never saw pee come out onto me. You think you did. Like
emphasis on the cock.
Psycho.
Hitchcockian. Way to start the movie.
Boy.
I have an opinion that I believe will be uncontroversial.
Okay.
I'm hoping you will join me. I think this was the best acted scene in the whole movie.
I really bought that kid was upset, certainly.
Yeah.
And I definitely bought that old man really enjoyed peeing on that Bible.
Oh, yeah. He's having a great time. He's been holding in that tank for quite a while. Also, I liked
we've been throwing back all that.
That the devil would be, hey, if you find some fucking nerd piss on his Bible, I'll give you fucking maiden tickets, bro.
I love that it took two of these bullies to hold back this little fucking dweeb.
This tiny little
like they're
boy.
holding him, and he's just like fighting back with the power of God.
Him, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say as we find out.
Mm-hmm.
Milton isn't just your average, like, little indoctrinated, kid from Jesus camp. Milton, as we find out, is a lifer.
He's a believer.
He is in it. And I can't, the Milton we come to know very quickly, even as a kid, I'm sure he had the strength and the rage at what was happening to his beloved Bible. But anyway, so the guy pisses on the Bible, and Milton just seethes. We have this great camera push in where we're seeing this kid just watching this guy.
I love that you see the stream is like out of focus in front of his face. The stream of piss.
It's a great shot.
Beautiful.
It's just pushing in, and this kid is just
pure
seething.
cinema. I wish Joe was here.
Yeah.
To see what real movie making looks like.
Well, there's also an American flag waving behind him in the distance next to a church.
And and then boom, we get another title card, Death Metal, and then 2 shows up in the middle, and it stays on the screen. Kind of remind me of the opening, was it Insidious, when it just goes Insidious.
Oh, yeah.
I liked it. I like those kind of credits, a big opening card like that. Fade out, fade in. We're now in color. It's present day. 2 yokels are driving a pickup truck. The one who's wearing a hat is bored. He keeps nodding off, because he wants something interesting to talk about. The guy driving with the big beard, he's not interesting. The guy with the long beard says, well, hog feed that turns him, what's more, something like, what's
more interesting than hog feed that makes him turn into incredible Hulk hogs?
Yeah, so right away, and it's a very quick scene. I mean, it's not like one of these it kind of reminded me of Rob Zombie, where we're introduced to some rednecks and they're having some terrible dialogue driving, like in the Halloween 2. But it doesn't last that long. It's real quick, a couple of lines, and right away we're given this bit of exposition. Radioactive hog feed, what are you talking about? Right away, though, they pull their truck off onto a side road, and they come to a stop. And they immediately begin rolling these large barrels right off of the back of the truck into a creek. There's radioactive symbols on these barrels. They're leaky barrels. We know that, okay, this must be the hog feed radioactive. It's all very fast, and I appreciate that.
I'm already in at this point.
Right? We know now that
I'm already getting one over.
Okay.
All right, some fucking dorks are dumping a bunch of radioactive waste. Who's gonna go swimming or something? And then it's
I love it.
Strong start.
Then we cut to a beautiful Sunday morning in front of a church, and as we see parishioners begin to go into the church, we hear a sermon. It's a very standard kind of sermon at first, but it gets a little fiery, as we'll see. We go inside of the church, and we see this pastor giving the sermon. I'm going to let you know now it's Milton. It's grown-up Milton, and he looks exactly like the kid that we see grown up. Still a nerd, still ridiculous, and still very much with the Lord. But yeah, his sermon is standard at first. And the church is packed, by the way. But the sermon grows progressively more unhinged, more of the fire and the brimstone. And as he's giving his sermon, we keep cutting back and forth between him and this bored-looking young man with some long curly hair pulled back into a ponytail. We'll get to know this young man very soon. In the meantime, though, Milton is going on his sermon. Some of you celebrate sin, reveling in TV shows about adultery, deviant lifestyles, social media, rock groups that treat Satan as a philosophical and artistic inspiration. He goes on to claim that other satanic things such as low-rise jeans, condom giveaways, internet porn, legalize-it t-shirts, pizza buffets, which I don't understand why he hates pizza, and gay weddings. So I laughed at the pizza buffet thing, though. The way it was delivered, the way it's stuck in there, it's sticking out
every
amongst
now
the
and
other
again.
standard things.
There's a good written and delivered joke throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I'm impressed, even though it's definitely bogged down by other less good jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed at the pizza joke. You got me, Milton. Yeah. You got me, Timmy Connery or Tommy or
Tim, I think.
Tim Connery.
Sean Connery's bastard son. I laughed.
I didn't make James Bond movies, so you could make me smut. Off to Dubuque with you. Anyway. All right, so and then Milton is getting fucking into it, and then he starts practically yelling, "Send them all!" Saying if he could work his will, much like Scrooge says, if I could work my will, he says I would send them all to breathe fire and an eternity in hell. And he slams his Bible shut, which looks to me like the same Bible that he had as a kid.
Yeah.
So he dried it out. He dried it out.
That would have been great if he slammed the book shut and a bunch of piss shot out of it.
Just a jet of piss just shot out and hit that one kid in the head. I would have laughed real hard at that. And then he stops with his angry and let's pray. Then we cut to a scrawny, pale, long-haired guy with putting on a t-shirt, close up on his chest as he puts on a t-shirt. And he's hanging out in looks like a warehouse. It's obviously a practice space because there's amps and guitars and microphone stands and a bunch of long-haired guys. Looks like to be a metal band to me.
Yeah.
The shirt has a band name on it in one of the classic black metal style unreadable logos. But the logo says Withered Christ, yet the guy in the band putting the shirt on says the band is called Mutilated Christ. I preferred Withered Christ because for me that's a more interesting visual.
Well, and isn't that what they call it throughout the rest of the movie? Is Withered?
Sure, yeah. And so, but during the scene, the band has some lines. I
wait a
may
minute,
be wrong,
Ryan.
but I think that's a real band, and that's why the acting is what it is.
Yeah, Ryan, I'm curious if it's the line is supposed to be like you're looking at the shirt, you're reading Withered Christ, and you're like more like Mutilated Christ because that shirt's a fucking mess. But again, we don't have a movie populated with actors. We have a movie populated with local musicians.
Yeah. And so and
I like these guys. I like them.
There's a charm. There's a charm.
Exactly. Yes.
But yes, our leads are that we'll get to. They're actors, but most if not all of the other people in this film, yes, they seem to be either local actors or they are just guys in bands, and they're like, "Fuck yeah, I'll be in this metal movie," and they do the best they can. And this guy putting on the T-shirt in particular, he stumbles multiple times throughout the movie, but you know what? I like this guy.
Yeah,
I like this guy.
He's charming.
Yeah. So I'm with it. I was with it.
He actually, speaking of a conversation Nick was trying to have with us the other day, he looks like a younger Tom Petty.
Yeah, I see it. I can see that. He's got that mouth. He's got that Petty mouth.
Yeah.
Where the teeth are just not, something's going on with the teeth. They're just not put in all the way, or there's just too
many
much.
Of them.
Yeah. There's an extra row back there, like a shark.
It's like a shark.
But yeah, I could totally see that. All right, so where am I? The band. Okay, but the band is totally unimpressed with the T-shirt. They're unimpressed with the logo. They make fun of him because the cross is not upside down, and they said, "What? Were you looking down while you were making it? So you thought the cross was upside down? It wasn't. It was a.
Hold up.
I liked it.
Hold up. I'm watching it right now, and I just realized they have a huge banner behind them with the same logo on it.
Is the cross upside down?
You can't see that far, but you can see the withered text with the big scythes, and like the shit hanging off of it.
Okay.
Go back and look. It's in there.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
Withered Christ. Well, maybe. Okay, so maybe though, because they give him a hard time because they say it looks too small on the shirt.
You know what it is? These guys are being silly because somebody has said that to them about their actual logo, and they're like, "Oh my god, we should put it in the movie.
Oh,
that's what it is.
Bunch of goobers.
Yeah, they're doing a protector infect.
Hey guys, after the Withered Christ show, you want to go down to our grottos and get some pizza?
Oh, wink, of course.
That's a real deep cut for a bunch of idiots.
I thought it was shawarma. Anyway, so we're still with the band. We got to move on. All right. So the band, the band isn't impressed with the shirt, and pretty soon the board kid from the church that we just saw that was sitting there listening to the sermon comes running in. Out of breath, he's like, "Hey guys, all right, I'm ready." And he takes his Sunday best off, which is a button-up shirt. He's got another band T-shirt on, different band. And we quickly ascertain that he's the singer. He's a lead singer of this band. However, before he can even warm up, he's got the microphone in his hand. They're not even starting anything. Everyone's looking at him kind of awkwardly. Another dude comes walking in. "What's up, bro?" And by the way, Zane is the board kid. He's going to be our lead. His name's Zane.
That's right. I couldn't remember.
Son of Billy Zane.
So this other guy comes in. He's like, "Yeah, thanks for keeping my metal maker warm for me, bro." And he takes the microphone from Zane's hand. Zane quickly puts two and two together and realizes, wow, they've not only kicked him out of the band without telling him, but they've already got a new singer. And they just kind of stand around awkwardly. And Zane gets it. He gets the vibe and leaves. Gets the fuck out of there. So dejected, he leaves and goes to his girlfriend's house to, lick his wounds.
Immediately knew where this is headed. Immediately.
Yeah.
He doesn't even get through the threshold of the door before this stone-faced girl dumps him within seconds. And she won't even let him through the threshold of the door. She's like, "No, and this isn't working. It's a break." And he's like, "You mean like a break?" She says, "No, it's more like a breakup." And he's upset, obviously, and he's like, "Fuck you," and leaves. So this poor guy.
No, hold on, that was a bit of conjecture on Mr. Ziegler's part.
What?
I mean, the kid just leaves, but Ryan is, "Fuck you, fuck you."
Well, no, he doesn't yell that, but he said he calls her
man.
He calls her an asshole.
Hold on a second, though. What I find really interesting about this movie is that I fully expected, especially as this movie went on, that we were going to see this girl just full on filleting or something, the new lead singer or whatever.
I thought that too.
And you get like the Disney Channel version of that. Like I was kind of caught off guard, to say the least.
Yeah.
There's weird parts of restraint in this movie.
Yes.
Which is weird considering some of the shit that happens in third.
That someone pisses on a Bible in the first 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, that too. You're starting
and says "fuck you, God" in the first 10 seconds.
Well, like Joe, you run out of steam. You come in real hot, and then you're just like, like true. Joe's dancing, or Joe's jokes, or Joe's friendships. Let's see.
He'll never hear this. It's fine.
I know, Joe. If you don't like it, listen to it and tell me later. All right. He's dumped by his girlfriend in the doorway. All right. Yeah. Then we dissolve to a wall covered in posters for an event called the Holy Saturday Metal Massacre. Now, from the posters, we can see that this has been an annual event for several years, and it always occurs the Saturday before Easter Sunday. So, boom, we got ourselves an Easter movie now, which makes me very happy. I love holiday movies. So, just in time, Easter's coming up in a handful of weeks. So
there is a lot.
So there you go.
Religious and metal. I don't want to say like they're not really talking. I mean, there is some conversation, but a lot of it's just clashing of imagery and all this stuff. And like, the metal people are just really into like desecrating the visage of Christ. Is this like a big thing in the metal scene, or is this just for the movie?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, even going to Black Sabbath. Satan and devil iconography has always been a big part of hard rock and heavy metal.
Is it
particularly the black metal bands and stuff like that.
Is it anti-Catholic or Christian or something intentionally, or?
It may be in some cases, but I also think in a lot of cases, like I like that line where Milton said the band's taking Satan as an aesthetically whatever he said. Mm-hmm. Just a lot of bands, guys like Dio and of course Iron Maiden. Just taking the imagery of it and Satan and all that, but it's not. It's it's fiction. It's not. I don't think a lot of these bands
much metal
like Rob Zombie, White Zombie.
Hey, Tyler Am, Kenny G fan over here. He wants to come over and listen to some smooth jazz over brunch.
Hell yeah. Sounds great.
Just the fake devil imagery stuff. It's just all fun, like Slayer. It's just it's not to be taken seriously, But of course, people have taken it seriously, Tipper Gore, etc. throughout the years. But okay, where am I at? Metal Marshmallow. Oh yeah, that's coming up. So the kid that we hear talking is named Ryan Rammer, and I will be referring to him as the Rammer for the rest of the episode. So the Rammer. He's the one who puts on this. He's like a local promoter. He's a big fan of local metal, and he's the one who's been putting on these events every single year. And he's kind of talking. You think he's talking to himself, but it turns he's talking to his young son. And he's just saying basically, ticket sales have not been good. This is a make or break event. What happens tonight, if it doesn't fucking go off, this will be the end of it. And so. And it's a fun little bit because there's there's a kid involved, and the kid throws up metal horns, and
it's very cute.
There's this.
It's weird because it's just like it feels out of place for this kind of movie. Again, we started this movie with a fake dick peeing on a Bible, and now we're doing this like cute thing where the kid, like not acting, the kid is trying to figure out how to put up the horns, but doesn't have like the muscle memory, and like it's cute. It's oddly cute for this movie.
Yeah.
This kid's got some good laughs in him.
Yeah.
He gets some good bits.
Yeah.
A little bit. I got a couple laughs out of him here and then towards the end.
Yeah.
I wish we got more of these two. These guys are my favorite part of the movie, I think.
They feel so disconnected from this movie.
I know. It's a different movie entirely.
Exactly.
Well, that was something I was going to bring up, too. He just pissed on a Bible.
I'll tell you, I just pissed on the carpet.
Oh, no.
He came in like a wrecking ball. Miley Cyrus over here. There he goes.
Bye.
But anyway, this movie kind of, it does. So there's like three main characters, if you will, or character groups. You've got Milton and his world. You've got Zane and his friend Mariah, which we'll meet here pretty soon. Mm-hmm. And then we've got Ryan Rammer and his whole thing. And they're all, within the same orbit. But we know they're all going to collide. It's like a fucking Robert Altman movie. If Robert Altman was like, making a low budget movie about the devil and metal.
It's like a bunch of the Bakers. You get the boys and the girls and drag, and they're all going to meet up at the end.
Yeah, we're getting introduced to these different people, and we know their fates are going to collide. And I liked it. I don't know, there was something about it. So we're introduced to Ryan Rammer and his son, and we kind of get their relationship. He's a single father. Then we cut back to the church and the office of Father Brennan. He's kind of the church boss. I'm sure there's a name for it, head priest. But he invites Milton in for a talk. Milton, we find out through this dialogue that Milton's been a priest there for about a year and loves being there. Father Brennan then notes kind of hesitantly that, we know you have a lot of passion for what you do.
Very choice wording.
Yeah, he's being very delicate. Because Milton's a firecracker, and he says, "Well, no, some of your parishioners have noted that you have a lot of passion for what you do." And then Father Brennan points out on the wall something called a vestment. I'm not Catholic or religious, but to me, what a vestment is just a badass hooded cloak with a cross on it, and that's what's on the wall.
Essentially,
it looks cool,
Mm-hmm.
And then he points out a large wooden cross behind him. He says that they were gifts. They were gifts from his congregation in Nicaragua. He says he keeps them as a reminder of Christ's compassion and charity. Then he begins to tell Milton about his time in Nicaragua as a missionary in the early 70s. He says they built a school and a small medical clinic and a church, but, it was a very poor part of the country. And then he starts telling a story about a man in the village, a very angry man who described himself as the resident theologian. And that, I believe, is where my first part ends.
Yes. So then we get to our flashback, which I really like that they use the Nicaragua 1970. They throw up the flashback Nicaragua 1972 and like the font of like the metal font. Yeah. I don't know what you call it. Branches font, whatever. I don't know.
Branches.
I don't know. And then we get an animated flashback or an illustrated flashback. I don't know. And it's like at this point that did every movie that went outside of every B movie that went outside their budget, I guess maybe C movie, did they all use an animated flashback like we did in Butcher the Bakers? I feel like this is like the fourth time that I've seen something very similar to this.
You know what? We never like discussed that concept as like we've seen it before, we want to do it, we think it's cool.
Yeah, at the time it was just like
to Butcher the Bakers. That's what we wanted to do. So maybe that's just like a common thing amongst people. Like we didn't have to tell that tale.
Right.
Or even like that. But my question to you is, or to the gang is, do you think that was the plan? Or do you think that was an afterthought? Because the delivery of that guy's lines is so bland. It was like, did he think this was just a reverse shot scene? Maybe. And he was just going to tell his tale as like the fatherly figure priest to this younger man. And it was bizarre.
And honestly, maybe they watched through this and it was a reverse shot and they were like, this is boring as fuck. Like, this is losing me. In this hour and 18-minute movie or whatever, maybe they were bored and they did it.
Yeah, you're 13 minutes into the movie. I'm wondering if they wanted to shoot that as like a flashback.
Maybe.
Because it would be the first real big gore, get some real nasty gore in the first 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But then they couldn't for what, it's going to be too expensive. They're not going to be able to budget it out or time-wise, and then they did this. Because really... Yeah.
I liked it though.
It looks great. It looks great and it's very well done, but it's very simple. It's only like a couple of drawings in a few different planes. So you could have done that pretty quickly.
Yeah, but again, I just can't get over it's not even a voiceover. It's just the audio from the scene.
Yeah, it's just him.
It's like he's just reading it off of a piece of paper.
Like it would almost be better.
I was in Nicaragua and
honestly, okay. If not that I'm trying to say that there is any better way to do it, but if I was the director and I couldn't get anything more out of this guy, what I would have done is I would have faded his voice out with somebody repeating the same lines at the same time, but a younger man, as if it was his younger self telling this tale, and get somebody with some fucking gusto in them balls.
Sure. I mean, like the story itself is, it's nothing like insane. But yeah, I mean the voiceover's kind of bland. Luckily the illustrations they look great. They're really cool. Yeah, we get treated to a story about the resident theologian and how he found his wife in bed with another man, and so he got a machete and he cut his wife and the man to pieces while laughing maniacally. I do think it's interesting because he mentions, he's like, by the time people got there was nothing left. But I mean, he didn't pulp them. Like,
there would have been something left. Like, he didn't reduce them to atoms.
Yeah.
Like to the fucking Infinity Stones. There's got to be some pulp left at least and some bone.
Okay, so
maybe he ate it.
This is kind of a tangent, but I just watched Nightmare on Elm Street the other day, and Johnny Depp does get liquefied.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And but no one in the communities, like, I know they're questioning it, but it's not like, well, that's weird. This kid just got liquefied. That's weird. What happened? All right, moving on.
Probably all that rock music.
It's like the same amount of fear as if somebody had tripped and hit their head on a rock or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, no, this is a damn shame. But no one is talking about the fact that is quite impressive.
The coroner's been puking his guts out since he got here.
And so we find that while this resident theologian, they never give him a name. There's just that they call him that. He says that he was called upon by God to perform a mortal exorcism. And he's very proud of himself. And what he took away from the Bible was that wrath and vengeance were very central to God's pictures of humanity, which admittedly, my fiance, who she taught Bible studies growing up, every time I didn't go to church, but every time she tells me a freaking story, it's like, yeah, God was pissed and killed all these people with and I'm like, God kind of sounds like a dick. So I don't know, maybe the theologian did take certain aspects out of the Bible.
Well, yeah, isn't it like the Old Testament? The God of the Old Testament is a very that's a guy that's flooding everything and killing,
Yeah.
So I could see on where somebody like Milton or like the theologian could, find inspiration.
And I love when we
very metal.
The Bible. Yep.
The Bible.
I think that it's really funny when we finally get back to the real world. We look back at Milton, and he does look like he's a little worried, but he is also like, wow, that's awful. A mortal exorcism, huh? So tell me more about that.
Yeah, so Father Brennan is like Fred Gwynn in Pet Sematary. You could have just kept your fucking mouth shut, and everything would have been fine. But no, you had to, Father Brennan's heart was in the right place. I get what he was saying, but I'm thinking to myself, uh-oh.
You taught Milton that he could justify something awful. And the old pastor Brennan, he's not here to fuck around, so he's like, look, you're out, Milton. You're going to a psychologist. And then I do he kind of hits him with the Shark Tank, because at one point he's like, I think that you've maybe have taken everything from the Bible wrong. And he says, and for this reason, and so and for this reason, you're out of the parish. It felt
you're
like
out,
very
Tom.
Shark Tank.
And for this reason, I'm going to piss on your Bible.
Yeah. Hand it over. I got a full bladder. So Milton is, visibly upset. He's very upset about this. He doesn't quite understand what's going on. He is clearly taking the lessons of the Bible wrong. But then we cut back, and Sad Boy has now darkened another woman's door. This time, this is his friend Mariah. She opens up the door, and she's like, uh-oh, one of the big three, huh? A death, a dump, or an arrest.
And I was thinking whoa, poopy jokes.
Yeah. In our movie,
look at this.
He would have farted.
This is a running bit I want to stop.
What's that?
Sarah bringing him these. Look at this.
He has a nice lady bring him a nice meal and drink.
Show us the meal. Show us the meal.
Yeah, what are you eating?
What's on the agenda? Is it crab legs again?
Is it beef stroganoff?
Oh my lord!
I know this climate is maybe controversial, but
well, no.
Oh man!
So if you'll excuse me, it's
gonna be a bunch of slurping sounds.
Dinner time.
It's slobbering time.
Good night, Nick. Slobbering time.
So,
and if Joe was here, we know what that would have went.
Yeah, a Stroganoff joke for sure.
Yeah.
Joe should be pissed.
Stroganoff your penis.
Yeah.
I'll ras some sputin'.
Oh, he wouldn't be able to say Stroganoff.
No,
that's true.
No, he doesn't know who Rasputin is.
No,
That either.
No, he
So-
saw The King's Man. He knows who he is.
Oh, that's the one movie he saw.
Yeah.
Joe
Has
watches
he
one
Spider-Man,
pop
won't
culture
watch
movie a
Dune.
year. That's all
Did
he
he
can
really?
stomach.
Did
saw
he
that?
actually watch The King's Man?
I don't
No,
think
I'm
so.
joking.
Oh, thank
I
God.
can't imagine.
No,
Of all
Joe
movies
is-
out
we know
right now.
better.
It'd be so weird for
Joe's a
him to
Has he
weird-
watched?
wet
Has
fart.
he watched any of the Yorgos Lanthimos movies yet? Do we know?
Absolutely not.
Well, he'll
Because
He'll
I've
go
watched
on
two
about
of
him,
them
but he's
since
not
we
watched
talked
them.
about it. I was curious if he's watched any.
no,
have
he'll
to bug
pound
him.
his fist and say, Yorgos, Yorgos, Yorgos.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I'll never watch any of it. But he knows. I found an article and it was old. It was from like 5 or 6 years ago. So some of the references were dated. But I almost sent it to everybody. It was an article saying it was like 10 movies you can pretend to like if you want your film nerd friends to like you. And I was like going through it. I wanted to see. And there was no Kubrick or David Lynch on there, so I didn't send it. But it was shit like that. Yeah, it would have been like a Yorgos movie or something like that. It was Joe all over though.
He probably read that article and was like, "This will get the guy." So like he's just like taking notes. And she asked him about the big three: a death, a dump, or an arrest. He's like, "Shut up, not cool. Don't make fun of me. I'm coming in." And he like pushes his way inside, and he collapses on the floor. And she jumps on the bed and she hits the point again. She's like, "So which one of them is it? Which one of the big three?" And he's like, "It's 2 of them." And she's like, "Oh boy." So he mentions, the breakup, which doesn't bother his friend. The dump. Sorry.
The biggest D.
The biggest D.
Yeah, please use the correct terminology.
Doom. My apologies.
Doom.
Doom.
Yeah, she was French.
I got doomed.
So
I got doomed.
The doom.
And then we smash cut to that guy's little wiener peeing on the Bible again.
So I don't have his actual name down here. I put him as Sad Boy Zane. Zane. He talks about he and Tracy broke up, and Mariah's like, "Yeah, whatever. Like I've hated every girl you've ever dated." And he's like, "Yeah. I also got kicked out of the band." And she's like, "Oh, well, that is a bummer because you like that band. I hated Tracy." That's basically her attention to this. She's like, "Oh,
Zach would have been a wonderful Mariah."
Yeah,
I'm jealous that they didn't toss a nice red wig on him.
I would have driven to Dubuque. Was that what it was?
Yeah, it's not too far.
I think it was Dubuque, Iowa. Yeah.
And I like that. So he says the line. He says, "They nixed me out of the clear blue. Then Tracy nixed me again." And it's like, I don't know, is nixed a word that they felt compelled to like, is this a rock word that's so ingrained in hardcore culture that they had to fix the word nix in there twice? I don't get it. It felt so weird. It's so deliberate.
Take it easy,
slang? Shaw. Take it easy. God.
No, I refuse.
Screaming.
It's coming in hot.
Yeah.
I did. And this is what I was going to say about earlier. The thing that bothers me about this movie, a lot of it has to do with Zane. I'm not going to go into it right now, but watch yourself, Zane.
Damn, Zach's coming for your ass.
Threatening the talent. Jeez.
And from my small bit of research, Zane isn't too far from you guys right now. I believe he's a Chicago actor, so...
Oh, shit, even closer.
He's got to come down there with his metal buddies.
I'll take him down.
I think he was on Chicago Fire.
Zach's going to fight all you and your friends.
Policeman.
Yeah, all of them.
I think he's in one of the...
So he talks about how he got over the dump. He mentions, and this is probably one of my favorite things about the movie, is they do bring up a lot of band names that could or could not be real, and I would have no idea. He says that he listened to Nursing Home Arson Strategy 20 times in a row, and I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know if there's supposed to be a song name in there, or if that was all supposed to be the band's name. Either way,
Who knows?
So the two of them, they're like, "We gotta get out of this apartment. Let's get out of here." We cut back to Kilborn.
Can I get a gripe out of the way? I want to get a gripe out of the way.
Is it about
and
Zane?
I have Mr. Tyler M has no room to talk. So I do hope collectively, as independent young men, independently filmmaking, we just get past the arbitrary female friend thing. Because Mariah has nothing to do in the movie, and this is not like a feminism misogyny thing. That could have been a guy, and I'd say the same thing. It's just a character that's there to challenge our lead. And then, yes, maybe they kiss at the end. Maybe they do. And 2 dudes can do that too. But don't include them because they're not contributing anything to the movie. So, and also, I'm sure I'm going to agree with a lot of what Zach's going to say about Zane in the end.
And if anything, when it comes to Mariah, I think it could have been better if at the end he tries to kiss her and she's like, "Dude, no." At least subvert some sort of expectation here. Give us something that's not just because the second I saw her, I was like, "Oh, great, this will be the just here to be smooched at the end."
What if when Zane went in for the kiss, he closed his eyes and then he gets hit with a stream of piss.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
Blasts him with a golden shower. Hard
And
cut to credits.
And it's the guy from the beginning of the movie, but he's 20 years older now.
Yeah, he's old now, and he's like on her shoulders.
His wiener has
standing
shrunk a little bit. It has shrunk inside of itself.
That's her dad. That's her dad.
Oh,
Exactly.
That's it right there.
And he's just blasting him, and then we cut to the credits, and Joe's singing a song.
Piss Christ, piss Christ, piss Christ.
That's why she hates metal. That's why she hates metal.
It all makes sense now. God damn it. Could have been a better movie. Still,
we cracked
fine
that
movie.
nut.
Yep. So let's go back to Father Milton. I feel like we hear like bottles, but we don't see one at this point in time. Like he's supposed to be drinking, but we don't see him drinking in this scene. But I feel like I heard it. I don't know. But he's in here and he's struggling and he's talking to God. He's got like 6 crosses on the wall and he's talking about how much he's struggling. With the suspension he's had from the church, he's asking God, where did he go wrong? And I don't know if it's just because I just saw the Batman recently, but he like straight up looks like Paul Dano in that movie. Every time I look at it,
I called him Joseph Gordon Dano in my notes because I couldn't decide.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially with the glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's just distraught in a mirror, yelling a lot.
And he's going hard though.
He didn't sing Ave Maria,
he's going hard. Yeah. He goes as hard as Dano does.
Yeah.
He does the shrieking and the weirdness.
Yeah, I
and
liked
the
him a lot.
drooling.
I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
But so he's praying his heart out. You know, he's freaking out. He's like, I've been robbed of my station, ridiculed by my mentor. And he throws, I assume it's the bottle he's supposed to have been drinking from. Again, I didn't see him drink. He throws something of glass at the wall. And then he
Just
throws
a glass Fago cola.
could be anything.
That's a different genre. That's a different genre, fellas. Come on.
You're right. And then he throws his giant Bible and he breaks a lamp. Probably not intentionally, but they kept rolling.
Yeah, the church was not happy about that. Also, I forgot to mention this earlier. They filmed this shit in a legit church, and it's a big ass church.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked that they were allowed to do that, considering the subject matter. I mean, maybe they didn't tell Pastor Farley what they were doing, but you know, it was impressive. That's what's
well, they had a lot of goop too. I mean, so they.
You know what? It's this
happens in that.
These
church.
guys that the people who made this movie were very good with locations.
Yeah.
And making things feel lived in. I will give them credit for that.
Yeah.
Now, they
absolutely.
couldn't necessarily populate every space they had, but
I think it's because they were just using actual dingy location.
well, but don't you love the dinge? One of your 3Ds? Dinge, dirt, and dump?
Me
Well, that
personally,
bar certainly felt like the Ninth Street Pub.
Yeah.
this is just my pretentiousness shining through once again, but I want to know that they put that dinge in there. I don't like going to a real look. For example, at what's his face's house with the kid, there's just half a pizza pizzazz sitting on the. Now you and me, we know what that is, but normal people won't. That just looks like a weird thing, and you know that was just at the house that they went to, and for some reason that just pisses me off.
Nick, this movie was
know.
made for people who eat most of their meals off of pizzazz, though.
I know. I'm one of them. Sarah made this delicious beef stroganoff on the pizza pizzazz. I get it, but I don't want to see it. I don't. That's our dirty laundry. That's our dirty secret that we have to keep hidden.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's
Nothing
fair.
to
It's
hidden in
fair.
I
this
yield
movie.
the rest
It's
of my
fair.
time.
Sure.
And for that reason, Nick's out.
I'm out.
So he throws the Bible, he picks it up, and he finds a verse, Jeremiah 16, verse 6. Cursed be the man that trusted the man, that might be wrong, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from the Lord. This bringeth him to the conclusion that Father Brennan has boneth him, and that Father Brennan is weak, and he will not let that dictate the will of God. So he reads this one quick verse here from the Bible and is like, that's right. Fuck you, Father Brennan. I'm in charge now. Milton's time to shine, baby.
I like that. I like this scene.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Because I am legitimately terrified by like hardcore religious extremism, like across the board. Religious people that are very into it make me very uncomfortable. And seeing this guy, I'm like, I'm not questioning anything about this dark path he's going to go down. If anything, I was kind of upset that he mutated. I was like,
yeah, it got sidetracked.
I wanted to see this guy.
No, and also I like when a villain or in a movie is committed 100% to what they're doing. Again, it comes down to that thing that the actors are always taught is like you don't judge your character. Your character, even if he's the bad guy, doesn't think he's the bad guy. Milton is great villain even before he mutates because he doesn't believe anything he's doing is wrong. And matter of fact, he thinks he's the only right one. And I love when you get a committed character
just like
that
Joe.
because they're well,
Yeah, unfortunately.
Hey, let's find something Joe really loves to piss on.
He doesn't love
Magic
anything.
card.
You can't piss on
Magic
a Plex
cards,
server.
a copy of The Shining, signed by Kubrick.
Yeah. He'd scream at that, but if we pissed on Judeline, he'd be like, eh.
I don't
you've
wanna
done it
piss on
before. We
Geraldine.
know.
Yeah, if we did it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's my new book. If I did it, it's a picture of Judeline covered in urine.
Oh, God.
I love it. I love it.
So
And well, how do I make the OJ joke when Joe's not here? For Christ's sake. Where did that happen?
Joe's currently on the interstate driving 90 miles an hour while the cops are behind him.
you just stole a brand new Ford Bronco. All right, so Zane and Mariah, they're at the record store going through the CDs, and Mariah's basically talking about how much she hates metal music, but Zane loves it. And he was supposed to open for Grandma Incinerator, favorite band, Grandma Incinerator. And he mentions he loved him so much, but now, obviously he's not going to be able to open for him now. And the store clerk, I feel like this might have actually been her store because she delivers her lines like she was not a hired actress, but instead very similar to In the Room, "Oh, hi, Johnny, you're my favorite customer." Because she says, "Can I help you headbangers find anything?" And it's not a good line.
That's most of the characters in this. I
That's a
think
good
the
point.
people who made this movie, they're real metalheads.
Yeah.
They know the metalhead community. They just happen to have all of these. I mean, it's very evident when they get to the show at the end.
Yeah.
Like these are people,
Oh,
they
yeah.
just wanted to be in the movie. They're happy to be there.
30 minutes in, because the movie starts hard with some metal music, but then for about 20 to 30 minutes, you don't hear any. And I'm like, wait a minute, what happened to the metal music? And then you get hard with basically a VH1 special about Dubuque, Iowa bands.
Yeah.
Like this movie
That's in my
or those
part.
bands and the woman in this scene, I just feel like she owns the record store or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
she's waxing a bong. It's like
She's not. I think she's the worst actor in the whole thing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
well-
I don't know why I have to
yeah,
say
that's
it. I feel like it's like sinful. Like I have to point it out. Like,
Sure.
ooh, Milton, don't whip. I'm gonna be Joe. Don't whip me, Milton. Don't whip me, Milton.
Yeah, I would say there's only like 3 or 4 actual actors in this movie, and everybody else is just part of the scene, helping out, doing their best. And this woman, I believe, is probably running the store. And she's a local fixture, and it's if you're making a movie about metal, you want the local metal shop.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess I kind of expected that. So none of that just rolled. Similar to the Tom Petty looking guy. It just. I was just like, oh, that's
It's
cool.
not-
and it just rolls
And it's
off.
not like we have the best crop of actors in our movies. Like,
What?
I'm
What?
saying,
Fuck.
look, I'm saying there are certain
Wow.
characters in our movies.
We have American classics like Journey, like Smigel, like Dittmer.
Yep, you're right. You're right. My apologies.
What the hell?
Like Hungerford.
Well, I won't deny that.
Well,
Dakota,
Yeah.
take your
Favorite.
shirt off and eat some nachos.
Dude, he would kick
I love
our
it.
asses.
you might.
You keep
Okay.
keep up with him. He's a wrestling champion.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
yeah.
I am
And
worried
his brother
he's gonna...
too.
Oh, really?
They're
Oh,
both. his
God.
brother's-
Two of them?
Yeah, his brother's like yoked.
We should have them on the podcast.
There you go.
That's I'm seriously. I think that's kick ass. I'm proud of that guy.
Joe, go
So-
start wrestling.
Dude,
Oh,
Not the
that
wrestling
would,
you do with your
that
cousin.
would be great.
Please, Joe.
Yeah. Not wrestling that ends up with you guys just wet.
Oh.
Dripping with piss.
Oh,
Oh, man.
I make Tad squirt.
Oh,
So-
God.
Moving on. So,
boys.
So they decide to check out. Mariah decides to buy him the CD, which is a very nice little moment. It's actually like he's reaching for his wallet to get it, and she buys it for him. There's not like a big moment. She just says, she just does it. She doesn't say anything.
Like Trevor said, sweet. A moment of restraint.
Yes, it's sweet. And the clerk then mentions, "Hey, aren't you the guy from Withered Christ? Oh, I loved you guys. I saw you at the fair or something like." She says like at the fairgrounds.
At the 4-H grounds.
Yeah. It's just the way she says it. She clearly forgot the name of it or something. But then Mariah decides she's going to go to the show with Zane. He was trying to convince her. She said no. And she's like, fine, I'll go. I'll go with you. And he's like, great. That means we've got 24 hours to get you ready. And she's like, 24 hours. That's a long time to get ready. And then we go back to Milton. Now he is completely sloshed. He's drunkenly destroying Father Brennan's office, and he's just throwing shit around. And he spots what did you say the big ass robe was called?
The vestments.
Oh, the vestment. The vestment.
He spots it. He decides to throw it on. And I love how absolutely massive it is on him when we see him wearing it. Because then a janitor walks in, like a metalhead janitor. So I guess we're here to assume this city, much like in Friday Night Lights, how everybody likes football.
Everybody likes metal.
In this town likes metal, except for Milton and Mariah.
Yeah. Texas forever.
Metal forever.
Listen, Street. We're gonna make that dream happen, Street.
Matt Saracen, we got a metal show to get to. You know, it's so weird how the guy who
Saracen.
cleans the church has like a metal T-shirt on. I don't know. It's weird, but it's fine. It works in this world. And so he like shows up and he's like, "Hey, you supposed to be in here?" And Milton's like, yeah, it's fine. Brendan doesn't care. You know, it's fine. And the metalhead's like, "I'm gonna get out of here." And Milton's like, no, snitches get stitches. So he like runs out and starts choking him to death and screaming, "You got to confess, you know." And then I love this. This is a bit of like, I really love it. In like the middle of him screaming, we smash cut to him like vomiting and crying in his car after having killed the man. I love that. I love that cut. And I believe that's the end of my segment.
I believe so. Cause then, he takes another drink or 2 or 3 or 4 and he goes on a good old fashioned drunk drive. We get some shots of him drinking. He's got a handle or like he's got a bottle of booze and he's drinking and he's sad. "Lord, show me where to go from here." We see like some disorienting shots of like the cameras on the car and he's kind of swerving a little bit and it's nighttime. He ends up getting into an accident. It's one of the things that I liked about this movie is I feel like they did a pretty good job at handling stuff that was like hard to shoot, like this car crash. Like they couldn't have had much of a budget. This was a pretty interesting way to get around that. And it works because he's supposed to be drunk and not really aware of his surroundings. That's a conversation we had way back in our first episode, I think, with Prom Ride with that big train explosion.
Prom Ride.
But that's something I liked because most of the difficult stuff or the hard or expensive stuff to do in this movie, I feel like they pulled off pretty well. They had to work around a lot of things and not everything.
Can I say one thing that I really struggled with? Is the sound design. For a movie about metal music, I was left wanting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's from just the sound design of like the effects and things. Like there'll be moments where crazy shit's happening and it's like
There's one specific moment later where I think someone like gets hit and falls to the ground and like it's just like you don't hear a thud. You don't. I'm like.
Yeah,
but then I felt like I had cut out. I was
Did
like,
you
"What
guys have audio issues while watching?"
I had a few,
like where all of a sudden, like, I got a couple bits. I'll spoil them now, but where like the audio channels are like it's heavy on the right or the left or something for like 10 minutes, Like I don't know if that's like a Tubi conversion problem.
It could be.
Oh,
I never had.
But it's consistent. So like I would go back and I'd be like, well, okay, what was going on? And it's the same thing. So there's a specific moment I'll point out later, and yeah, it was driving me crazy.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah, I just watched on Tubi, but I just had the audio. When I watch through Roku, it doesn't connect to my sound system. So when I watch it with anything like on Tubi, it's using the little tiny speakers, in the TV itself. So it could have great sound design, it could have terrible sound design. It all sounds crappy to me. I mean, I sometimes have to turn on
everything sounds like shit
because I'm just using the tiny little, because the Roku's not plugged into it.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
So it could be, though. It could either be Tubi or it could be the movie itself. Or
Tubi. Me neither. We see...
Tubi.
So he gets into an accident. We see a shot of the car flipped over. It's like a crane shot. We see the car. We go up, and then we see him laying in the grass, and then we see that he's laying in the grass right next to the toxic waste that was dumped earlier. And this is things are happening.
The Tromaville Health Club.
Yes, this is very exciting. He's right in. He's flung from the car into the toxic sludge lake. He slowly pulls himself up. And he tries to grab one of the barrels to stand up, and it opens and it all sprays on him, and he's, oh my God, he's writhing. There's some cool slow-mo, sledgehammer style slow-mo is what I read. Or what I wrote during this transformation. I like that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I liked it too. I liked it because the thing about it was, and I make Toxic Avenger references because I can't help, but it reminds me, barrels of toxic waste.
Spoiler alert for my next sentence. I call him Father Toxie from now on.
yeah.
I called him Father Rot.
Oh, that's good.
The Rot Father.
I'll be honest. I was a little confused because I tuned out for a second before, between the car accident and him getting covered in the sludge. So I tuned back in, and I guess I didn't really put two and two together with the sludge or the barrels from the beginning. So I'm like, why is this dude spitting up yogurt and getting covered in slime,
foam?
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Well, the thing one of the things I liked about it is much like the transformation in Toxic Avenger. It's this is a comedy for the most part. It's a horror comedy, but the shit like this, there's nothing funny about the scene. The scene is shot full horror. Yeah. The guy's in pain. It's painful. It hurts. It's gory. It's gross. And I like that. And the fucking actor's selling it, 100%. Like he's been doing Love Milton. He's been doing the whole movie. Fortunately, this is the last time we'll see Milton because another actor takes over for Father Rot. But I mean, it's icky, and it's oh God, I like that.
It's good and gross. He starts barfing up foam and liquid, some kind of milk. He starts screaming. He's screaming, and we fade to black. We fade up, and it's old pastor guy. Brennan is his name. Father Brennan.
Yep.
Father Brennan.
We see he's in his office, and it's been all fucked up from the tussle last night that we jumped away from. He calls the cops to report a break-in, saying that the only people that could have been here was Tom, the cleaning guy. And during that whole conversation, we see into a closet, and Tom's there, and he's got his broom shoved up his mouth, in his jaw or something.
Yeah, it's under the chin.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Pretty gnarly stuff. So he's been.
And don't forget, Father Brennan. That's not even him as a mutant. Yeah, he did that as a human being.
Yeah.
He does a lot of this kind of shit later on, but that kill, he was just scrawny, drunk Milton.
Yeah,
with that fucking rage, and was able to shove that. So
he did it. He's dangerous. Father Rot's newly gross hand comes into frame and grabs his rosary and that big spooky looking cross. And he's got all of his gear now, and he starts setting out towards town at sunset. Or sunrise? It looked like the middle of the night. I'm not sure. I guess it would be sunrise on the next day. Yeah. I'm thinking too hard about this. Yeah. That's right. The timeline gets a little fuzzy in some parts for me.
Yeah, because the next day I think is Saturday,
Yeah.
which is the Saturday Medical Massacre,
right.
because then the next day is Easter.
Yeah.
That reminds me. Is this gonna be counted as an Easter episode for us? It's timely.
I don't
Might as
see why
well.
not.
Close
Might as
enough.
well.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Sinister. There's some like sinister music, some sinister like organ church music that transitions into metal. As we cut to promoter guy Ramrod or whatever his name was, and
Rammer, the
Yeah,
Rammer.
the Rammer and his boy Danny enter the venue. Enter the venue for the big show.
Guys, guess who's going to be at the Smokestack in Dubuque, Iowa this weekend?
Oh shit!
Who's that?
Nonchalant, Chalant with a $, featuring Sarad, Tuda, and DJ Night a Beat.
Oh shit! Gotta go, fellas.
I guess so.
Yeah. Road trip.
Count me there.
Yeah, let's all pile into the car.
I like that the Smokestack's a real place. They shot at the Smokestack and they called it
Yeah.
the Smokestack in the movie.
Guys,
Yeah.
Monday.
Just like
I-
we did with Night
March
Street
I
21st.
don't like that they used a real place.
Well, shut up.
Shut
You're
up.
just jealous that you don't get to do yoga with Katie Ann on Monday.
What
Oh, come
Nick
on!
hates.
At the smoke. Wait, that's at the Smokestack. They got yoga. At the
Get your
Smokestack?
yoga on with these sweaty, funny, and creative vinyasa flow classes. I don't
All
yoga.
Do they have a
Yeah, I don't-
pizzazz at the smokestack? And do we see it in the
Oh
movie?
man, that'd be nice.
I'm looking
Is that
at
why
the
Nick
pics.
hates it? You see a pizzazz.
They have a cool rooftop.
Oh,
It's lived in. It's
Yeah.
lived in.
Somebody
Oh, yeah?
lived in that pizzazz.
wow.
I wonder if they've got a poster on the wall at the Smokestack of Death to Metal. I wonder if
Let's
the, if the
just
band.
go.
Yeah, it's really not that far.
No.
Do you guys want to do an episode of Malevolent Movies in the smokestack while a band's playing?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah,
just
that
need to
sounds
get out
awesome.
of the house.
Could you imagine Joe's volume in there trying
Oh,
to talk
God.
to us over a band in a crowd?
No, he just have to speak his normal voice, and we can still hear him just fine. So that's the perfect place for him.
But he has to talk louder than the drums. What's this guy beating this shit up here for? I'm trying to talk.
He's beating the drums while I'm trying to beat off my penis.
What we'd have to do is we'd have to orchestrate some sort of thing where some guy there thinks that Joe's picking up on his old lady, and Joe gets into an old-fashioned bar fight. Just imagine seeing Joe just getting punched by a
I
stranger.
want to see them try to bum rush Joe out, but they just can't like lift him and to throw him out the door.
Yeah, they don't have anyone strong enough to do that.
And Joe just starts raging and starts fucking beating the shit out of everybody. And I could see that. He just
starts
"Ah!"
spinning.
Just
He
he
does
loses
that
it.
spin move.
Dancing from the Joe
Yeah.
Olympics.
His glasses will fly off and hit some kid. Well, speaking of kids, the kid and Ramrod Danny Boy or whatever, they're in the venue. They're getting things set up, setting up the mics and the amps, sweeping the floors, wiping down the bar, all that kind of stuff. This is cross-cut with Zane, sad boy, kind of trying to pump himself up in the mirror for the big show. We can't really hear what he's saying to himself because there's metal playing over it, but I understand that it's probably not important. Ain't that kind of movie. So they do that for a while, and then he finally goes to check on Mariah, who still hasn't changed into her metal gear because she wants to look as human as long as possible. Ha ha ha.
Which is
har,
Shame
wild
on you,
because,
Mariah. Shame on
ultimately
you.
we'll find out, like, her metal gear isn't, like, I was
Her
expecting,
metal
like,
gear
a
is
choker.
t-shirt and like
Yeah.
a flannel.
Like, I thought they were going to do, like, a choker and, like, big boots and, like, all of that.
No,
Like, her
didn't she
hair
say-
was going to be crazy.
After she was supposed to be like prepping, didn't Zane come in the room and say, "Wait, what happened?" She's like I couldn't deal with it. Like I had to be normal again or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, she just went real low key.
Yeah,
with
I think
the-
she said that she was.
Yeah, she had her
She
concert
just
outfit.
wasn't feeling it. So, and again,
God.
I like Mariah because
I like
Mariah
Mariah,
wants
yeah.
to live Mariah's life, and I wish she didn't like Zayn. I wish she did. I mean, it's not like overt, like she's fawning over him all the time, but she
Right.
defends him too much. He doesn't need it. Mariah,
It feels weird that she likes him as much as she does because I don't
Yeah.
understand why.
Because she hates everything about him.
yeah.
Right, she hates like
Truly.
the music. which is like his biggest thing.
Yeah, and he's a singer in a band. That's the problem there. If it was just his hobby, whatever, who gives a shit about his hobby's in the metal? You don't have to like his hobby to, but it's more than that. I mean, this is what he does. This is his art. This is his identity. He's a fucking metal singer.
Right.
So if you despise metal and you can't handle the sound of it, you're not going to
Ryan, do you have dreams? What? Do you have daydreams of being the lead singer of a big metal band?
Not a metal band, but I would love to be a fucking singer in a band. That's one of those things. It's serious. That's like a fantasy that I'll never achieve because I can't sing.
Yeah, but neither can these guys.
Hold on a second. I got a bit.
Well, I could do if you turn the microphone up real loud, because I can't scream, but I can do the.
That's it. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
Incinerator! Joe Buckley is a crowd!
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Ryan.
Go.
It's
music.
Ring. You got a
summer.
phone call. Answer the phone, Ryan.
Hello.
Ryan, it's me, Dan Andriano, the bass and backing vocalist and player from Alkaline Trio. Guess what?
What happened to your list, Dan?
We just kicked Matt Skiba out of the band. And we need a new lead singer for the big show tonight. You want to join us for the Battle of the Bands?
I'll fucking do it. I'll be terrible. I'll be booed, but I would. But you get on stage and I'll sing with Dan Andriano. I'll sing the fuck out of it. I know every word to every fucking Alkaline Trio song. I know the B-sides.
Okay,
I'll get on that stage.
I'll go pick up Derek Grant and his drum set, and we'll go to the big show.
They're like, no, you give me Mike Fremley on the skins. That's a deep cut for all you Alkaline Trio fans going way back in the 90s.
Specifically
Sean, if you're listening,
1999 to 2001.
Yeah, it would have to be. I mean, that's going way back there.
So, sorry, big distraction there.
Oh, it happened.
But yeah,
Listen,
cool.
this is a short movie. It's fine.
Short movie, long
if
episode.
we had started watching the movie when we start recording, the movie would be done.
Yeah, I know.
It's only an hour and 18, and we're at 120.
Oh, Lord. She doesn't want to change into her gear yet. But he says, "Oh, that's fine. We still have plenty of time to get you filled in on all the bands that are playing the show tonight." So now we get to get a little tour of the Dubuque, Iowa metal scene.
Bum bum bum.
Just play that forever.
Tonight, Metal Massacre. Tomorrow, Scat
That's
Sunday.
right. First up, Scatman's here, folks. The first band is called Mutilated by Zombies. He describes them as fast, complex, crazy solos, often gory lyrics about getting mutilated by zombies. Yada yada yada.
Standard metal fare.
Yeah, your standard stuff. She could not care less. We transition to the next CD and his 6 CD changer. And we see the next band is Telekinetic Yeti. This is 2 dudes with beards, basically. They're a 2-piece storm band, he says. We see some photos that I assume are from this real band's, Facebook page. Album, maybe. They're really, really, really loud. And he plays us a little bit of it, and they sure are. He says most of them look like truckers with big beards. It'll be deep, heavy music. One of the guys is going to show up drunk and get baked the whole time until they go on stage, he says. And then the final band is the big one, Grandma Incinerator. They are like this. They're like a group of like the old school guys. They're like the older guys, probably in their 50s. We see them later. Spoiler alert.
And we get a song during the credits. We get the Grandma Incinerator song, and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. The lyrics are fantastic.
Yeah. Classic death metal, super heavy, awesome fast drums, fast guitars, gun roll vocals. Again, kind of your classic metal stuff. These guys write songs about death, the macabre, or macabre, or whatever Joe said that one time. Macabre, botched surgeries, and cannibalism. So yeah, that's the bands. And then of course the fourth band is Withered Christ, which he was kicked out of. He describes them as I forget, a bunch of idiots that suck dick for a living or something. And will probably get booed off the stage. She says, clearly 12 years of Catholic school didn't have an effect on you. Get it? And
because I mean, yeah, that is a thing. That is a thing, though, Zane. Because first time we see Zane, he's
at church. Yeah, he's at church.
At church, and it's never implied that he's there with family necessarily. Later on, at the very end of the movie, he has to get up and leave Mariah's house because he's got to go have Easter dinner with the family. So
yeah,
one could assume that he's there with family. So he does have this religious, a background.
Right.
Still. He's still practicing.
He still is. He's still in it.
I go to church. I
I want to put a metal band together with me and Joe.
Like those.
It's
like those Christopher Lee
Simon and
albums.
Garfunkel of metal.
Joe will just say his normal filthy shit, and then Ryan just has to growl it out, and that's basically what the standard stuff is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Your dick's too small. I'll make you come. Here comes the prize.
His big squealy ones. Oh man. Then we transition to a good old boy driving the truck, windows down, cracking open a cold one, having just a good old time driving God knows where. He sees somebody in the he's got like a big knife. He's like tapping on the steering wheel.
That felt like a little bit of improv that got weird.
It's fine. It's funny.
They explain it in the next part. He sells knives door to door.
Oh, that's right. He's a door-to-door knife salesman.
It's him. I forgot about that. Also before we transition to this, Zane holds up the 2 tickets to the show, and it's like a little shocker hand. And I like that at the show you rip off the middle finger, and then it's just the metal skin.
I did like that. That's fun.
That was a nice little treat. Fun. That's good. That's a nice little joke by the art director of the prop department. So back to the good old boy, cracking open a cold one, drinking down or driving down the road. Road sody, about to sell him some knives. And he sees somebody hobbling on the side of the road, and we know that it's Father Rot, but he doesn't know what's going on. So he's, oh my gosh. He pulls over all concerned, goes to check on him. Hey, you all right? And Father Rot has appeared near him. He's like right outside the truck door, and he kills him. How does he kill him? He stabs him. Oh my God. Of course, he stabs him with the big the crucifix, the big cross, which is like his weird gross sword that he's using now, I guess.
Which
he stabs him
I know it wasn't, but it just looked rubbery every time I saw it.
Yeah, it looks a little. There's a shot where he like flings it up, and like you see the sunlight behind him. That one looks good. I wonder if there was because that one I feel like you'd be able to see it wiggling, but it looks pretty turgid. But anyway, he dies, and that's the end of my segment.
Yes, and
I believe it's Nicholas.
Sure is. So we go from that to let's just say an interesting trio of people. They're jamming out watching a band on a wooden TV.
Describe them in detail, Nick.
So, I do believe 2 of them on the couch are the good old boys who dumped the
Sludge Brothers.
Yeah, the sludge at the beginning of the movie.
The brother Sludge.
They're just there, and they're getting stoned. And then to their left, there's a woman who's bare-breasted for whoever needed that. Someone, it's there for someone.
It's like I didn't. I'm like, wait,
ma'am, you can
for this movie that's been showing restraint. Yeah, it's then all of a sudden, but I guess it's just to show you that these are a different group of people. This isn't Zane and Mariah. This is a whole different group. And
if you felt they were showing restraint up to this point, the restraint is gone because it's going to get raunchy here in a second. So they're just watching I don't know, MTV. I don't know what they'd be watching on. But anyway, they're watching some bands.
Yeah, watching music videos.
Yeah. There's a little Jason Voorhees doll in the window. I don't know if that's meant to be an illusion or if they're just like, oh, it's a slasher movie. But that's there.
Yeah.
So these dudes, they're waiting for their buddy to come back
Wait,
from a
who
beer
else
run.
is in the room?
Well, it's only the three of them in this room.
Wait, did you describe the woman on the floor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
With her bosom.
Yeah.
Guys, I blacked out. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Are you on the weed again, Tyler?
I'm sorry.
This isn't a
He's having flashbacks.
No, I'm
He's the only
sorry.
person
I
in the
got
world who has
distracted
weed
by the
flashbacks.
news. I saw that they extracted the captured mayor of, I think is it Mariupol? That the Russians had taken a couple days ago, and
yes.
so Zelensky was talking about it, and I got distracted. I just gotta ignore the headlines. I'm sorry.
We got real business to attend to
I
here,
know.
Tyler.
Yeah.
Get back to
The horrors of the world will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that war's still going to be there when we're
we
done
get out of
talking
this safe bubble, the safe bubble of death to
Guys,
metal.
I don't want
we're
to
in
make
right
the
now.
pod political, but I don't think I'm a fan of this Putin guy.
No, he's really starting to
Hot
rub me
takes
the
with
wrong
Tyler
way.
Yeah, I'm just not agreeing with him anymore. Yeah, this was the final straw.
There's the Trevor we've all come to know.
Controversial.
You know what?
Oh,
Putin, you're
no,
banned
no.
from the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get the hell out of here.
We're going to
Putin.
remove
great.
all those positive things we said
Yeah.
about you.
now we're only gonna have 1,016 subscribers.
Oh,
Let's
no.
get
What
rid
if,
of him.
what
Yeah.
if all of those are just Russian bots?
Russian bots.
Oh no!
Everyone except for
what
like
have we
You know
done?
what? That's
Old
one
Man
way.
Higgins,
That's
Patrick
one way
Pirate.
for Russia to crush America's spirit. Everybody in America has a podcast, and if all those views and downloads were just Russian bots,
No,
my lord,
it makes sense because
That's
like
the real
Netflix,
warfare.
Netflix is banned in Russia, AMC's banned in Russia. You know what's not?
Everything.
Malevolent movies
And
Yeah.
Tubi.
and Tubi.
Oh,
So,
shit.
That's it.
We're a part of it now. We're part
God
of the problem.
damn it. Yep.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so there's two men and two breasts dangling in this room.
Oh, God.
They're
They're
waiting
heavy.
for their buddy to come back on from a beer run, which is the guy we just saw. His name is Chuck,
Oh.
and he's running late. And one of them asks where the long, I called him Longbeard Bald Top. The other one asked him where
That's
Longbeard
him.
Bald Top's wife is, and it cuts to
I called
elsewhere.
I called him drained out Brian Posehn.
Yes.
Okay.
He is skinny Brian Posehn.
Yes.
Deflated Posehn.
Well, we see where she is, but she's getting railed by some
Scraggly
random
Posehn.
guy.
Yeah, she's getting split open in the back.
Yep. This will become important in a moment.
Yes.
So cut back to our
She's like, the roof of my mouth hurts.
cut back to our
They call that. That's what they call it. They call hitting the back of the pussy. That's what it's called.
Ryan.
oh Ryan,
God,
you dog.
Ryan.
That's what it's referred
I
to.
hope
on
we
the
learn
street.
that Ryan's a virgin.
That's why Joe and I get along
That's
so
it.
well, because we're both the same. I just try to hide it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
behind-
we gotta get
God.
Joe laid so that Joe can make fun of Ryan.
He beat me to the finish line.
Joe just skeeted across it.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Who's talking? Who's showing
Me.
this?
Nick.
So they see the boys. They see that Chuck's truck is just outside the window, and they go to investigate. And then Longbeard Bald Top, he's wearing transition lenses, and that really bugged me.
He looks like fucking Neo all of a
Don't
sudden.
just wear your regular glasses, guy.
Nitpick Nicholas over here.
That's my job. Anyway,
He's everybody's dad in 1995. Comes in. It takes
Who
20
touched the
minutes.
thermostat?
He's like, you know, I can't see.
I don't need to see it. I
do
can
that.
feel it.
Sarah hates it.
You didn't mow the lawn diagonally.
Garbage day.
Sounded.
They open up the truck, and Chuck's guts are out, which is typically bad.
Okay.
all in his lap.
Guys, I loved it. I loved it because it doesn't make any fucking sense other than did what Kilborn sit in the muck of the guts?
Yeah.
You know,
I guess.
But I
I think
prefer
he moved him.
I prefer to think that the guy drove back to the house And Kilborn was just in the back.
But his legs, so like
Shut
we saw
up. Shut up.
Shut up, Boone.
Shut up. Who did shut up?
But like
We've been
this
infiltrated.
legless
Yakov
man,
Smirnoff.
yeah,
This
Bam over
legless
here.
man drove back.
yeah, he drove back with him in the back. Well, and like this
Power
begins
Christ.
like I like that
Oh.
Milton's just finding people to kill somehow. Like this one. Why did Milton come here? Do we know?
'Cause-
Well, he's killing. First of all, his big thing. The reason like he killed Jenner because they're in the metal.
Right.
This is
But
like the
I guess my
sinners.
thing is,
so that's what.
like, does Milton have like a little Rolodex with everyone's business cards on it? And he's like, oh, there
But
they are. That's their farm.
Does Jason Voorhees know? I mean, he just knows when
senses
those
it.
teenagers fucked in the
that's
woods.
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
He
Just
can,
know.
He can
The
smell
problem
it.
that Zach actually has here is we get a vivid shot of this after post-transformation, him walking like what you assume to town because there's a church in the distance and other things.
Yeah.
But somehow he ends up out on a country road.
Right.
So then he goes back to town.
Well, and that's the thing is then he either sits on the man that he cut in half and drives his truck back to his house. So he must have went through his wallet,
Reasonable.
found
he has
his
a sensitive
address.
bottom. He needed more cushioning.
Yeah, comes here to kill them first. Like it's weird. Like I guess just don't think too much about it.
Well, what again? That's
that
the
kind
only
of movie, kid.
Yeah.
the legless man.
He
the legless
stalks.
man
He kills. He goes
drove
home.
to his friend's house, but died as soon as he parked.
Probably.
Kilborn was in the back.
That's
and
probably what
he
happened.
just popped out because he heard a bunch of commotion. And what was that commotion, Nick? Coming from the house.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what it was. It was railing. We're back to the railing. And Father Rot, he walks in on it. We're going.
I think they were
doggy
actually having
style.
sex. I'm
It certainly looks like
I'm
it.
very
It looks
convinced.
pretty realistic.
You see this boy's balls slapping Cletie.
They are swinging.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
If you have the pleasure of having a Tubi subscription, please zoom
Tubi's
and
free,
enhance.
baby. No
I was gonna say, you
subscription
don't even need it.
required.
Well, and the reverse shot, it certainly, typically
It's
when
about
there's sex
38
scenes,
minutes into the flick.
there's
folks.
but 37:11 if you're being but
Something
like
that.
typically there's some sort of
Yeah.
undergarments
right.
being worn. They don't really show like this, and the framing of the reverse shot. She's certainly not wearing anything at all. Like,
No.
it's a very convincing portrayal of sex in cinema.
I get the feeling that these are their raunchy friends that are a couple, and they're like, "Oh, we'll do the naked scene, we'll do the naked sex scene," and then
You
on
don't
the day
have
they're
to,
like,
but we want to.
do you want to actually do it? Do you actually want? No, well, we can't do it. No, let's do it. Let's actually
Like,
have sex. I got a
Mar-
nut on camera.
Was it Martin Van Peebles? It's Sweetback.
Yeah.
There's going for
no,
it.
yeah, Melvin.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're railing. Father Rock comes up from behind and cuts the railer's throat, which results in I'm not going to say tasteless, but effective cum joke when his blood from his throat dumps all over her back. It's classy. She
This is
asks for a
grosser than
towel.
the actual scene.
Yeah,
You know, it's all over.
no. She says something to the effect of "big load."
Can we start? We
Yeah.
need to start a new series on the P Hub called Malevolent Boobies, where Nick just explains porn, and it'll somehow be dirty
Okay,
Yes.
so you
and
can see
worse.
here, he's using the anus as an orifice.
Oh.
Now, these other three men, they're also going to use the anus.
Oh,
Anyway,
coming to the P Hub.
Yeah.
so we had a classy
This summer.
moment there. But the goober troop, they come in, and they are ready to fight whoever the fuck did this to their good friend. And they walk into the room and they're confused because it's like, who's this dude who's fucked my wife? And he doesn't seem all that concerned because I guess it's being played up for a goof, sorta. But he doesn't have too much time to react because he gets his neck snapped. And then the other redneck, he kind of squirrels away. But then Father Rot, I think I didn't pause it to look, but I think he grabs a gallon of bleach and makes him drink it.
He grabs a gallon of bleach and a gallon of ammonia.
Oh, okay.
And he pours them down his throat.
I missed the two different things because I was wondering why gas is coming out.
Yeah. He does this thing where he like scrapes the caps off with both bottles because he's holding two jugs. He goes,
yeah. It's probably supposed to look cool, but it just looked kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Well, it's because his big old goopy fingers.
He's got these ooky fucking hands. He's
grabbing
things
they're
with.
like the fingers of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh God! But
they're
they're
just big
flesh colored.
square. They're just big squares. Yeah.
They look like sausage
like
casings.
5 weird dicks.
Yeah.
Some of them are fused, so it's like he's got like 3 fingers.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's like, what is it in Total Recall? Remember that he's got to put his hand in that thing and it's an alien hand on the ball? It's, there's like 2 finger thing, the quattro hand or whatever the fuck. It reminds me of that. It's like this mutant, or if you tape, you get a hurt finger and you tape the fingers together or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, remind me of that. He's got the goop finger.
Yeah, it's all nasty.
So after he's made a cocktail in our big redneck's mouth, he takes the tickets from his back pocket. I don't know if it's a clue. He's like, oh, this is where I'm headed next. Or if he...
Oh, I know where all the sinners are.
Anyway, so we're cut to outside the venue, and Zane, he spots his old band with his old girl. And he's not liking that.
oh, the new singer's grinding up on her.
Mm-hmm. He didn't even wait for the sheets to get cold. I don't
or crusty.
Then they got railed. So then we go into the venue and we see lots of local friends who are just happy to be in a movie, of course.
Oh yeah.
The former band, and I'm just kind of brushing through this because there's a lot of filler that's unnecessary. But his former band, they can't find Vinny, the new singer. Where is he at? So they're gonna have to change places with another band. And so then we go back, we see Zane. He sees his old girl and he starts talking with her, and they have an awkward little interaction. And what's her name? Mariah. She goes to pee outside while Zane and his bandmate go have a talk, because his bandmate is going to tell him that they can't find the new lead singer. He's gone. Would you do it, my brother? And he says yes.
He's like, the waiting is the hardest part.
Right. So
Tom Petty. It's Tom Petty.
So while Mariah,
come on, it's Tom Petty.
While Mariah is out just peeing in the alley, she sees. Oh wait, did we even get to this part yet? No, we didn't.
You're pulling a Flash Gordon here. You're zipping through.
Yeah, no. It's just too much. None of it matters.
You're telling me
she had to pee outside because there was people having sex
and there's a guy sitting next to her vomiting on the floor. Like,
it's a girl.
A girl.
Yeah.
That's
a girl.
Puking.
I thought that was. I don't want to assume their gender.
Oh, it is a girl. I'm sorry.
Mariah couldn't pee in the bathroom. She waited there for like 15 scenes. We go back and see her standing there for 15 scenes while we hear people railing in the bathroom. That's the interesting part that we're missing. I don't care.
Finally.
It's our second pee shot of this movie.
Yes, there's a big on piss.
I do want to step
big on cum.
I do want to take a step back for a little bit. There's like a tracking shot that goes through the venue. And I don't know if you're following anybody in particular, but you're just kind of getting a lay of the land in the room. I loved the shot, and it just took me back to so many situations where everybody's going to the big show on Friday night. You get there, and it's 90% of the people in the room.
Yeah,
and there's like the weird guys that are always
it's
there.
The Cancun and Lad.
It was kind of nice to see, and I'm almost happy they didn't have a packed house. Like I think I liked it better with it just being like, okay,
just enough.
It's like it was.
Yeah, it's authentic. It was authentic. Even right down to the dirty people screwing in the bathroom, and you can't get in there.
Where are you hanging out at, Ziegler?
Ninth Street Pub, man.
Oh.
If Sean was here,
This is like when we went to
so many
19th Street
diseases.
Pub to shoot those dumb scenes for Grace's room, and we were just using whoever was there. Just, you want to be in a movie? There you go.
there was one time, there was a guy that used to frequent the pub. We called him Light That Sax on Fire because our friend who played the trombone, this drunken man saw him playing the trombone and yelled, "Yeah, light that sax on fire," because he didn't know the difference, apparently. Well, that guy used to pimp out his wife at the Ninth Street Pub, and people would have sex with her in the bathroom.
How do you know this, Ryan?
And he just went.
Yeah, Ryan was
he's got receipts.
Virgin Ryan. I'm Mr.
I'm
Light
just
Your
saying.
Sax on
I'm
Fire.
just saying.
I heard your wife might be available for purchase tonight.
I don't think you had to say all that. I think you just had to give him some
Ryan's
heroin.
like a stereotypical nerd from like a 50s movie. He's got tape on the glasses. He's got suspenders.
Excuse
Hey, excuse me.
Excuse me. It appears that you've spilled my drink.
I'm in the market for some coinage. Perhaps you can help me, kind sir.
Perhaps I can come and I rail her.
Come and rail.
I will pay by the minute, good sir. I will pay by the minute. I have some silver dollars here.
Minute. Get out of here.
I can write you a check if you prefer. Anyway,
Hold on.
I'm pretty sure
there's
you
a
just
bit
give
of
this guy some
visual
drugs.
humor here I didn't catch the first time. Back to Mariah outside pissing. And there's a toilet.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
You couldn't pee in that toilet though because there's a plant growing in it.
Yeah, but I didn't
It's a
catch
bit
that.
of fun. Yeah.
You know what? I'm
We've
starting
all
to
seen
realize
one.
when I watch these movies, I'm only looking at the things that are moving. Like I don't see the whole screen.
You're like a T-Rex.
Yeah. I can't
The
do
T
it.
in T-Rex stands for Tyler.
Tyler,
It's
yeah.
a Tyler Rex.
Tylosaurus Rex. Yeah.
Yep, always has been.
Oh man. All
Anyway,
news.
so she's peeing, and I think I missed something because the camera just holds on a wall outside.
I don't know.
Way too
Yeah.
long.
I didn't know
Zoom
this
in,
either. I didn't
and I don't
understand
know
this
what
either.
it was, and I was just confused. And I figured
think-
someone would yell at me for not paying attention, but
No.
apparently not.
I think she's just freaked out.
It's not the power
Well, it
box,
starts
was
with
it?
the power box, and there's like a buzzing, and I don't know if that's just supposed to be. I don't know.
But
But
there's
then
also
it-
a mural there, and it's like,
Yeah.
no,
and it's just
no.
staring at her. So maybe it's the idea
Yeah.
of like she feels uneasy because it's
Yeah.
staring at her. But like
Then
it's-
show like
they
a dark alley or something. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
they hold way too long on it. It's an impressive
Yeah,
piece
I
of
didn't
art.
understand. And
Yeah, it's a cool mural. I just don't
Yeah.
understand why we saw it like that for as long.
they might have been a donor.
Oh,
They might have
maybe.
been,
And they just had to put it in somewhere,
well,
and that's
yeah.
I don't know. I'll just
Yeah,
fucking
you know how it
zoom
goes.
in on it.
Yeah.
It'll be spooky.
That sounds like our movies.
Uh-huh.
Nick, what do you mean?
I don't know.
If somebody wants to do an accent for no goddamn reason, they can.
I love it.
the Ottawa Bakery, that was invented.
Yep.
That
We
bakery was
built
really
that
called.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
built this bakery.
We all learned.
Okay. Okay, that got me.
On Indiegogo.
Tyler has no idea.
No, he'll hear
Do we
about
use
it
Indiegogo
when
for
he
that
listens.
last one, or was it
Yep.
Kickstarter?
Yeah, it's-
I don't know.
And back to the
Yeah.
thing.
You guys are being funny
Oh, he's
without
back.
me.
He's back. He's done putting.
Yeah, that's a joke for future Tyler.
Yep, enjoy.
Good.
Anyway, so
It's real topical,
Yep.
real relevant.
Like all
Yeah.
of Joe's jokes.
Real good.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
There's a real good modern
yeah,
music
it's on
reference.
the same level. I'm not gonna lie.
it's a classic bit.
So anyway, we don't know what's going on with that wall, and then we go back inside, and Zane is gonna take Vinny's place, and that's it. That's
It's my turn,
I was happy
boy.
to see that. I was happy to see that. Zane getting his time in the sun.
Okay, here we almost go. Okay. So we're back outside. Mariah is in the backseat of her car. She's taking a nap. I guess she was just over the whole shtick. There's a weird song playing, which it was just an odd musical choice.
Yeah.
I
I think it was just. It's supposed to be like Lilith Fair. She's in that kind
this
of shit.
seems like a Mumford and Sons-y kind of
Yeah.
takedown on.
Yeah,
This is what
yeah.
she likes, and she's got to escape from the metal a little bit and listen
Yeah.
to some of
It's like, I gotta
Monsters
listen
and
to
Men in the
Manchester
car.
Orchestra.
She says
What
later
the
though
fuck is
something
that?
like, "I was just out jamming to my music" or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listening quietly to my music.
In the arms of an angel.
It's not that corny.
Yeah.
A bunch of shaking
Anyway,
dogs.
she's sleeping in the backseat of the car.
Cut to the sad
We're
chihuahua.
cutting back and forth. There's a lot. This is the classic indie horror movie third act where you cut back and forth between 8 things. We're going back and forth.
Return of the Jedi, guys.
Yep.
It's okay.
We go back and forth inside where we see bands playing or a band at a time. And we come back out and we see that the singer, whatever his name was, the new lead singer for the band, is getting high. He's just squatted by the outside the building getting high, which I really
by a dumpster getting high.
I really kind of like this because they didn't go extreme with this guy. He's like a classic. He shows up. He's a decent vocalist, so the band says yes, but he's super flaky. If he gets a joint, he's going for it. He has a list of priorities. Being the lead vocalist is like 4 or 5. And so he's not like shooting up heroin or something or stealing everybody's girlfriend. He's just existing. I kind of liked him. Okay.
Yeah. I hope he made it out alive.
No, he didn't. We see him go.
In the next 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Damn.
Well,
So anyways, he's getting strangled by Kilborn up against the building. Mariah wakes up. She sees what's happening. Oh my God, there's some big beastly thing out there doing this. So she runs into the club, but she's stopped by the bouncer, the ticket taker, just this larger woman who's just really trying to act. And
she has the same flannel shirt. I have that exact flannel shirt. That flannel shirt that I wear at the very, very first scene of Butcher the Bakers. It's identical.
Look at that.
It's the
it's
identical.
Ryan's. It's twins.
It's his
a
variant.
faded glory
This is a
Walmart.
multiverse situation here.
Yeah, she is the Martin
come on,
of
come on.
this universe.
Yep.
No!
Sorry.
I want the metal guy smoking the weed. He's the Martin.
Well, anyways,
Even if he
she's given a
does.
hard time. She's talking about calling the cops, and the woman who stops her, takes a poll and who wants this lady to call the cops? No. So she runs past. She's in the venue now, and she's shouting. She's trying to get anybody's attention, but it's way too loud. Oh, and along the way she passes, the meanie weenie ex-girlfriend. And they have a small bit that means nothing. Anyways, Zane is up on stage with Witch's Vice, and the show is banging so loud that no one can hear Mariah. We get an establishing shot of the building that it's near completely shrouded in darkness, and that's supposed to signify the passage of time. We cut back into the end of Weathered Fright's set. Zane asks for lighters, and with the help of the crowd, he burns a Bible. Everyone goes mildly apeshit. The band kind of shreds, and we get some unnecessary breaths. It's a great time. So Tethered Kite finishes their set, and we cut to the venue manager who is pouring themselves a beer behind the bar. The bouncer woman shows up, and she starts telling them that, hey, Grandma Incinerator is running behind, and we'll need to borrow equipment. And the joke here is that the manager is really stressed out, and he starts chugging that beer while she lists all the stuff that they're gonna need, which is essentially everything that a band would need. Mariah finds Zane after the show, or after his set is completed, and she's still panicked, even after, I'm assuming, 30 to 45 minutes have passed. Zane can't hear her, and she says, and they exit screen right. I don't know why I wrote that down. We get some shots of sweaty men slapping strings, and then cut to Slithered Crime enjoying some post-show beers with Kilborn when Kilborn enters the room. They're all withered. Christ, I'm just being an asshole. Back to Mariah, who is trying to convince Zane that things are not safe, but ex-girlfriend and her novelty friend who stands around in her scenes and watches the acting happen enter the conversation.
Her handler.
She's hitting on Zane, which confuses his boner because Mariah is now his best gal pal. The ex exists. The ex exits. I put exists. The ex exits, and Zane agrees to go to the police. But if Mariah is lying, if she's a fucking filthy liar and isn't telling the truth because she's a fucking untrustworthy asshole, he's gonna be really pissed.
Yeah.
It was just a weird thing where he's really hard on. He's like, hey, look, if we get there, we do all this stuff, and we find out that none of this is true, I'm gonna be really pissed.
Yeah.
Okay,
Big man.
Yeah. Just go bang your ex-girlfriend, dude.
I mean, he kind of has a lot of lines like that where they're like, there's a lot of like attempted buildup, and then he just stopped. Like, because he does it like at the door of his ex-girlfriend. He's like, you know what? That's just not cool. And it's like, well, that wasn't worth all like that intensity. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
I'm acting until I'm not acting.
I'm over the top and a little reserved. Okay,
that's his move. Is he'll say something and he'll pause. And then he'll finish it, and he does it again and again and again.
Yeah. Well, we cut to Zane immediately entering the green room. He trips, sees his dead bandmates, and then screams like a girl while planking. It's a very awkward shot.
I laughed. I laughed
at this too. This was very weird,
because I didn't expect it.
I'm sorry.
and they stay on him long enough that I'm like, come on, it's too long. Okay, I'm with it. Yeah.
God,
I always laugh at the high pitched scream from somebody who you wouldn't expect a high pitched scream. It's gonna get me.
Well, anyways, he runs back to Mariah, and they're like, "Oh no, we should leave." Just a quick suggestion for all budding indie filmmakers out there: we don't need to see everything. We don't need to see everything. Think of the edit. What would have been far more impactful is we see Zane screaming as he's planking on the floor. The close-up shot, and then you hard cut to him and Mariah like zooming out of that building, hardcore metal music playing, not a 10-second scene of him going back to Mariah and be like, wow, I think I believe you now. We should probably get out of here. She's like, oh, okay, let's do that. Okay, we're going to exit out this door, and then we'll figure it out later. We don't need that. Which is weird,
because I mentioned this earlier. They nailed that kind of cut earlier with Milton. Like, they nailed the, like, he's choking the guy. Now he's outside regretting it. We didn't need to see him choking the guy and then apparently stab him through the jaw with his own mop and then put him in a closet, then leave the building. Like, we didn't have to see that. It was implied. And so, same thing here. We didn't need to see him put away his hairy nipples and then get outside.
You know what's even funnier? You close up on his face as he's screaming, and then the scene transition happens where close up on his face screaming. We pull out, they're in the car, and the engine's stalling. Vroom, 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 vroom. Like, boom.
And it's still screaming.
Still screaming. Connect the shots.
And Mariah starts getting annoyed at the scream. She's like, Jesus. I'm scared too, man.
Yeah, okay. That'd have been great.
So the battery's dead in the car. What a quinky dink. They hit the road running, and we jump back into the metal show where everyone is moving in slow motion because Kilborn is entering the room.
Also, I liked that they did set up the car battery dying. There is a shot when she runs back inside. There's a shot of her keys in the ignition that I didn't really understand why we saw it at first. Mm-hmm. But I really appreciated that.
If the keys weren't moving, I didn't see it.
I thought it was they were going to imply that she runs back and the car's gone.
That's what I thought too.
So the battery dead thing, I was like, oh, the car's still there. And then
we have to set up that the battery will die. Or it could just be the trope of horror movies where the car doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciated it that we didn't get that, or that the hood wasn't up and there was a bunch of shit torn out.
In hindsight, I love it. I love the idea that we established that maybe the lights were on and the battery died.
Well, and she was in there listening to whatever she was for how long?
Yeah, she had the battery.
This is a Malevolent Movies idea. Nobody else can steal this. I'm not going to edit this out, but I think we should do a gag in a movie where for 30 minutes we keep cutting back to a vehicle idling with the lights on, just to establish the moment they run to it, the lights turn off and the battery dies.
The battery doesn't die; it runs out of gas.
The battery's out of gas?
No, the whole vehicle.
Car.
So it's just like it's on the whole time.
So we all finally get in the van or whatever. All right, quick, Ryan, punch it, because Ryan's driving for some reason.
Fuck yeah,
Ryan's
fast. And it all stalls out, and we're all, oh my god! Joe starts freaking out.
Well, outside. I will say, Friday the 13th Part 3 did something similar where you saw the guys come and siphon the gas out of the van because they're going to get even and they need gas because they're also going to burn down the fucking place. And then so later on the movie, the van, runs out. But as the audience, we're like, well, of course it is. They fucking siphoned it, but you don't know that. But then she has a second tank she flips on.
But that one's full of sand.
Which is a cool thing. I didn't know. Vehicles back in the those times.
I hate sand.
You have 2 tanks of gas.
It's coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere, like your engine.
Okay, so
I don't know. We're doing 2 different
bits. I go from Friday the 13th Part 3 to Tag.
No, I'm just trying to connect the Joe recurring sand thing.
Oh, I was going to say, did Joe walk in?
Okay, anyways, the car's dead. We go back into the show. Kilborn shows up. He immediately kills somebody, and I put exit screen left. We cut back and forth from Zane and Mariah looking for help and Kilborn killing people at the show. A couple highlights is he rips a baby out of a pregnant woman who's drinking at the bar. So, that's the fun stuff.
Again, the 9th Street pub, guys.
Yeah. And then at 57 minutes, 19 seconds, while two drunk characters argue over who bought the last round of drinks, the audio engineer of the film wakes up and realizes that they had accidentally rotated the audio pan dial 70% to the right. They correct this, and we finally have centralized audio again. It was driving me fucking bananas, because I'm like, are my ears busted? I've got my tinnitus going on.
Let me see real quick here. Hang on.
Yeah, so if you jump to like 57 minutes, 10 seconds, you'll listen. It should mostly be coming in on the right side. And then...
That's the devil in you. That's the devil in you.
Oh, it is.
And then
your senses.
It hard
That's the devil in you.
edits the audio like back to the center.
Weird. So last night I watched on my TV back here and I had my headphones plugged in and it was fine. But now, online or on the web browser version, I'm hearing it. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
So anyways, so there's some audio issues. We've already discussed it. Kilborn continues his spree by jamming 2 beer bottles into the breasts of the drunk guy that was just arguing.
That's pretty good.
He grabs a cymbal, he throws it into somebody. And then basically he starts picking fans off one by one, but it's kind of like off screen. Like you're seeing people cheer going like, yeah. And they're like, what?
Yeah, getting pulled out
by the cane. Okay, so while all this is happening, we keep jumping back to Zane and Mariah, and like I'm so confused, and I refused to go back to get the context. There is some kind of breaker or electrical box that he's smashing with a rock and then starts pouring water into. What was the plan?
To cut the power so everyone will leave, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
nobody's going to leave because there's a band and everything. But if you turn the power off,
okay, so that's why they cut to the shot of the emergency lights coming on.
Yeah.
But then, but the problem is that when we go back into the building where Ramrod or whatever his name is,
the Rammer,
there's music still blaring, and it's very confusing because he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll turn the power back on." But I don't know if this was supposed to be like score or soundtrack. It was so confusing.
That would be fucking weird.
Because he's screaming, "Oh, I'll find a way to turn the power back on," but it's like there's fucking metal music playing. But anyways, the band is on the stage and there's like, a quarter of the crowd left and they're all like, "Wait, what happened?" And they turn around and there's Kilborn strangling somebody over a pile of dead bodies. I'll be honest, man.
I like
they get you good with like a couple kills, the baby getting ripped out and then like the guy getting cut in half. There's just a lot of like choking and like basic stabbing. I was a little bummed out. I was kind of hoping for some more big kills. But anyways, I'll move on. Ramrod confronts Kilborn because like he was like going to go for his son or his little kid. And he basically like immediately is like, "Whoa, gotta get out of here." Zip, zip, zip. And then like takes off. And then we get cut to a shot of Mariah and Zane running down an alley, but a big van pulls up in front of them. Who could be in this van? They must be important because the camera dollies into the passenger who looks like an old, grizzled, sweaty metalhead. And Zane is...
It's King Theoden.
Theoden King.
He's identical. I was like, holy shit, it's Theoden.
In Wormtongue.
Yeah. I mean, it's right down to the haircut and everything, and the goatee. It's seriously, Lord of the Rings fans, that's fucking King Theoden right there.
6,000 metalheads, less than half of what we hoped.
How did it come to this?
Okay, sorry. But anyways, the Zane is...
Kick up teeth behind your foot.
What the fuck is happening right now?
That's not Theoden, that's the same scene.
Jesus. Okay, Zane is panting because he just acted hard. And they're basically having a short conversation, and the band in the van is like, "Hey, where's the smokestack?" And they're like, "You don't want to go there. There's bad stuff in there. People dead." And then I can't remember what the guy's line is, but the camera dollies in. And he's like,
Hey, kid, this ain't our first rodeo. We've fought demons before. We've done it all.
I think he says like we've got a long history of bar fighting, kid, or something like that about bar fights. Yeah.
So, and that's
this ain't our first bar fight, little lady.
Yes, that's what he says.
And he takes a drag.
Drig. And that's it for my bit.
Hold on.
Come on, Ziggler.
Hello? This fucking thing. This goddamn fucking Yeti.
Hardcore
All right,
Ziggler over
here
here
we
can't handle a microphone.
Yeah.
No, it's because the goddamn thing, the port is
Can you
tiny.
imagine
It falls out.
All tiny port Ziggler over here.
The tiny port. I'm trying to rail the port and it ain't happening.
Listen, lady, it's your port that's too small.
Yeah. My wiener's big.
I want Ryan on the stage of like
my wiener big.
The stage of the 9th
Joe's
Street Pub, and Ryan's like doing a metal song. And he's just, God damn it, this fucking chord, like in his microphone.
I'd smash the goddamn. I would. You know how I do it, technology. I would smash that fucking thing.
They'd have a couple ways.
Technology's here to serve me, not the other way around. God damn it! If you don't work, what's the point?
Oh, we lost him.
Oh, Lord.
That was perfect.
Fucking Mike.
Technology said, "Oh, I'll show you."
Yeah.
And he got him out.
When I say suck my dick vacuum, you suck my dick.
Did you say when you buy a dick vacuum?
Yeah.
I want someone to invent that. Well, I mean, I'm sure it exists, but I want it to be called dick vacuum.
Yeah.
Just let's not give it a fun name. Wang jammer. No, we're just call it fucking dick vacuum. What it is.
Joe just cores a melon with the nozzle and then goes to town.
Oh, fucking shit. All right, here we go. Let's wrap this guy up. All right, so we cut to the rabber. He's still in the basement of the bar. He's holding a sledge, and he's talking shit to Milton or Father Rot. But nothing really happens. Then we cut to inside Grandma Incinerator's van. Zane and Mariah are just hanging out with the band. They're getting high. One of the band members he pulls out a golf club or some shit, and he's like, oh, or maybe it's a microphone stand. But he's like, oh, I use this for a weapon. And Zane's like, I'd love to get high with you guys, but we got a monster on the loose. Cut back to the basement of I wrote down the 9th Street Pub, and it's a smokestack. Might as well be the 9th Street Pub. And Father Rot attacks the rammer. There's a Slayer joke that I didn't catch. I rewound it 3 or 4 times. I don't know what he said. And I love Slayer, so I wish I would have got the Slayer joke, but I don't know what the Slayer joke was. I didn't get it. Father Rot then picks up the rammer by the throat and drops him down a well or some sort of deep spot in the bar. I don't know what the fuck it is.
I thought it was, my best guess was like an elevator shaft or something.
You kind of see the other side of it. It looks just like a drop off because there's like
there's like horns in there. There's horns and like a pitchfork.
It looks like just maybe a lower portion of the garage or like a loading bay or something.
I can't believe it took me this long to ask, but does he have a wig?
That's a wig.
Swear to God,
Ramrod. Okay.
I was gonna bring it up earlier and forgot.
Okay.
It's gotta be
it looks like one.
I mean, like, it's not like anybody would have been like, this guy's not a true metalhead if he didn't have long hair. But whatever. It's fine.
All right. Outside the bar, Zane and Mariah wait for Grandma Incinerator, who have gone in to kick some fucking ass. But after a quick moment, they come running out scared. King Theoden says, hey, just because I sing about corpses doesn't mean I want to become one in your shitty little town. He then runs to the van to join the rest of the band, but there are screams and the van's rocking because Father Rot's inside the van and he's killing Grandma's Incinerator. He then comes out. He approaches King Theoden. Theoden's like, no, man, I like Jesus too. We're cool. We're the same. Nope. Father Rot grabs him by and yes.
It does really look like him, though.
It does look just like him.
It really does.
He looks like Theoden and like Tom Savini rolled into one person.
It really does.
Yeah.
This guy's great. I wish he was in the movie
more.
No, he was very enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I thought that like the way that his entrance and like his character, I thought that he was like, maybe he was just an actor that I had never heard of who is in a lot of other shit. Like he felt like a cameo. And maybe it's just because I wanted so much more of him, but like, he wasn't. He's just great.
The oomph was just it. So the problem is that they should not have done the bit where the venue guy, Ramrod, and the bouncer woman discuss that they're coming late. They shouldn't have never mentioned them. You have Zane talking about how he loves Grandma Incinerator, and then his heroes show up at the end. Like, they burst that bubble before it really was big enough to pop.
And I would have loved, I would have loved to see. So Halloween Kills has the scene where like the townspeople, spoilers for Halloween Kills, where the townspeople kind of beat the crap out of Michael, but then, Michael's still Michael, and he kills a bunch, right?
Yeah.
I would have loved if that's what happened with Grandma's Incinerators, that they do kind of put a beat down on Milton a little bit, and then you could get flashbacks to him getting beat up by, or pissed on, getting his Bible pissed on. You could have stuff like that where he comes and he ends up killing him anyway or something. Like, I would have loved that. What is that? Those are just feet. What are you showing?
Lord of the Rings, Rohan.
Marvel action figure.
Oh, really?
Oh.
There he is.
That's him.
Grandma's Incinerator.
Grandma's Incinerator. Right there.
Spitting image of Bernard Hill.
That was their
I gotta buy this. I gotta buy it.
Anyway. Theoden, he's trying to argue his way out of getting killed by Father Rot, and he says, you would have me crawling on all fours like a beast. But he gets his eyes poked out anyway. Witchcraft.
I would have loved it.
I would have pissed my pants on the Bible. All right, so then where the fuck am I? Something about Theoden's eyes. Yeah, it's a good kill. Speaking of Halloween Kills, very similar. He puts his thumbs into his eyes and pushes, and goo and gore and blood comes out, and he's dead. It's too bad because he's great. He was a fun character, a lot of potential.
Mm-hmm.
So Milton talks about, where the hell am I? All right. So then Zane and Mariah, they run to the church. Father Brennan is just happens to be closing things up for the night, closing up shop, and he sees them, and he allows them to come into the church, and they barricade the doors. Father Brennan's like, oh, okay, you guys seem convincing. I'll barricade the doors. What's going on? But sure enough, Father Rot was hot on their heels, and he shows up and he easily pushes open the doors right through their barricade there into the church. Father Rot then starts talking, because we haven't really brought this up a whole lot, but Father Rot talks. He says things, and he's not quippy things. That's what I liked. I liked that a lot about him. He doesn't become Chucky. He didn't become Jack Frost or anything like that. He didn't start making goofs. He's still being a very pious, he's Milton, just in mutant form.
Yeah.
They don't take that easy path of him making the, Dr. Giggles type of jokes. But anyway, yeah, he does talk, and he talks about bringing punishment to all the singers. Well, I guess metal singers, all the sinners. While Father Brennan kind of is arguing back and forth, and he's like, look, we're all sinners. We're all here. This is the Easter vigil. This is the house of the Lord. And that's when the arrogance. Pride goeth before the fall. Galatians 17:9 said it best. And that's when Father Rot says, this is my house. So he thinks he's God at this point. Brennan isn't having that. He says, no, this isn't what the Lord would want on the eve of his son's resurrection. And then arrogant Father Rot says, yes, he has been resurrected. Again, referring to himself. Delusions of grandeur. With that, Father Rot impales Father Brennan with the cross. Armed with a large crucifix stake. I don't know what it's like, a long cross.
It's that thing that they walk down the aisle, and they got the
somebody's
in the
it's
front,
like a staff,
and they got the people with the dangly smoky things.
Yeah. That thing, whatever that's called.
All that Jesus shit. All that Jesus
staff. Oh God, will you go get the Jesus pole, please?
Mr. Priest, don't put the Jesus staff in my ass. Don't do it.
Oh, it's far too big.
I love that my impression of Joe is basically Eric Cartman.
Well, I mean, he is.
Joe is our Eric Cartman.
Well, he's built his entire personality on it.
Yeah.
So Milton. So yeah, armed with that long Jesus pole, Zane confronts Father Rot, claiming that the true sinner is you for killing innocent people. And Father Rot then begins to explain how everybody is not innocent and blah blah blah. His same stuff that we know. He thinks everybody's a sinner except for himself. And then Zane gets his moment. He begins extolling the virtues of metal. And he starts to get into it, and then, being true to yourself, and then boom, his rousing speech is interrupted when Mariah thrusts the cross into Father Rot's back, causing him to collapse, and he begins to kind of melt and ooze. Some ooze
He starts to
comes out.
come.
His collarbone
his face
comes.
Yeah.
He's leaking a bunch of barbecue sauce and ranch dip all over the
And we're
floor and the
thinking,
vestments.
Well, that was so easy. They killed Father Rot. So Zane and Mariah go outside, and she apologizes for cutting off his metal speech. Hey, it sounded like it was going to be a good speech. Zane then kind of, as we know, says he's got feelings for Mariah. It's more than just a friend, blah, blah, blah. And it's just about he's going in for a nice wet kiss. Here comes Father Rot. Cock blocker. Comes up and grabs him by the back of his long hair. And he does, it's like the Three Stooges. It's like Larry getting his hair ripped out. Just rips a big fucking handful of hair. But unlike in the Three Stooges, there is aftermath. Now, Zane's got like a shorter haircut. He's got Gavin Rossdale circa 1998. It's still kind of long, but it's not long like it was. But it looks great. I mean, there's one handful of hair changed everything. But he and Mariah fall back, and just as Father Rot is about to finally kill Zane and Mariah, a van comes out of nowhere and slams into Father Rot, splattering our heroes with his blood. Turns out it's the Rammer, and not only that, but he's driving the Grandma Incinerator van. All the worlds collide. This is what it's like when worlds collide. As the Rammer and his son, because his son's hanging out with him, because he can't get a
Dad of the
babysitter.
year.
Single dads can do it too.
That's right.
As the Rammer and his son run over Milton over and over and over, run over Father Rot, he compliments Zane's performance as the lead Vox for Withered Christ. Zane and Mariah then walk away as the Rammer just runs over Father Rot, backs up over gooey Father Rot. Back over gooey Father Rot. Back over. Just over and over and over. It's fun, whatever. I've seen it before, Monster Man, but it's still...
Monster Man, that was the big one, man.
Monster Man did the same thing. Great movie. Find it if you can.
Well, they did it, and they did it better because
Monster Man did much better,
just back
But
and
still,
forth
it's
as the
fine.
sun sets, and
Yeah, the huge monster truck. But anyway, cut to the new Lovebirds. It's the next morning, Easter morning. They're getting some well-deserved Z's. Zane gets up and is like, oh man, I got to get out of here. I got to go have Easter dinner with my family. But first, he goes in for that kiss, that wet, wet kiss that he wants. But it's interrupted because he sits on a remote controller accidentally turns on some fucking metal from his stereo. And he can't seem to turn it off. And Mariah rolls her eyes. Boom! End credits. As the end credits begin, we see the aftermath of the church. We see the Rammer bragging about, his heroics. We see TV reporters covering the story, paramedics loading bodies, and specifically Milton, Father Rot. They load him in a body bag into the back of an ambulance. Ambulance drives away. We go inside the cab of the ambulance where we have two dirty paramedics, similar to the two dirty guys earlier in the movie that were talking raw and going to dump off the toxic waste.
Talking Raw with Ryan Ziegler.
Talking raw. What's up, guys? So these two
So I'm
paramedics.
totally not a virgin, everybody.
That comes on right after Malevolent Boobies on Pornhub.
I
One
know
and
the
the same.
inside of a woman, and I don't just mean her mind.
I have this chart in this textbook that I have. You can see right here. This is the vagina.
I have had a clitoris not farther than 2 centimeters from my peepers, thank you very much. And it wasn't an accident.
They fell off on my mother's lap.
The silky... All right, never mind.
Jesus.
Okay.
You asked for it, you get it. You asked for it, you get it.
I don't think anybody asked for that, but
I'm turning
got
into Dad Costanza over here. You got it. All right. Enough references. Let's wrap this fucker up. All right. So 2 paramedics are having a convo about how they don't really celebrate Easter. They're not into Jesus and anything. And then the one guy really seals the deal, being a non-religious guy, saying that I think he's just going to cruise the town and look for some high school girls tonight. Because his wife's out of town and the kids are with her. And the other guy's like, hey, can I tag along? And the driver's like, sure, why not? And as they're talking about all this sin, in the back, the body bag with Father Rot starts a stirring, and boom, it sits up as the guys headbang and the metal music plays, and we get the end credits where we get a music video of Grandma Incinerator with the lyrics while the credits roll. I loved it. I thought it was great. And then we get a quick little button scene at the very, very end where, God, it's something with Zayn and Mariah. It's some quick little, I can't even remember now what it was because I didn't write it down, but I was like, oh, because I didn't expect it. But yeah, there's a little button scene. And that is
Death to Metal. I'm gonna make you come. Trevor Universe, what the fuck do you think? Come.
All right. Well, I like this movie for the most part. I texted Tyler when I was about halfway through and I said, despite some truly awful performances, I'm liking this so far. And that's kind of where I land. I'm going to say benevolent, but just barely so.
just the tip.
Well, sure.
God, just the tip of that Jesus spear.
The old Jesus spear. This one turns water into wine. This one turns your pussy.
Jesus Christ. Anyway.
You asked for it.
Yeah, anyway.
You've been wanting it. You guys
Again,
been wanting this
did we?
comedy. You've been wanting this kind of comedy all night. With Joe not being here. We've all been flirting with it. We've all been Joe tonight.
We've all been short tonight.
We've all been Joe tonight.
You're all implicated in this.
I feel the power of Joe right now
He's compelling you.
on the Zoom call. No, there was enough good written jokes in there that I still liked, still laughed on the second time I watched it. But there's a lot of bad performances, just like our movies, just like a lot of other movies we've watched here. I did like how this movie looked for the most part. A lot of the technical issues seemed to be editing and sound, of course. But this movie looked pretty good overall, especially for a movie like of this size and scope. It was very charming. You know, Tyler sent us a bunch of trailers that were for movies that were supposed, as close to the kind of movies we have made, or like a Super Hot. And this one, I was surprised, felt more like that kind of a movie than I anticipated from just watching the trailer.
Yeah.
I had a good time with this. I would probably watch this again just for a few bits. I loved the little kid and his dad, the rammer. I love Father Rot. I got a lot of Demon's Rook vibes from this movie.
Yeah.
I wish there was more gore like there was in Demon's Rook, but
I remember Demon's Rook.
Overall, not so bad. Like I said,
Barbara.
just all
Ryan
right.
bulging over there.
Ryan's bricked up thinking about Barbara. Demon's Rook, whatever it is.
I'm stuck in this mindset now, so I can't help the joke.
I know. So yeah, just over benevolent for old Trevor here. Mr. Nicholas Swartz, what do you think about Death to Metal? I couldn't remember what it was called for a second.
Death to Smoochie. Well, it didn't
Yeah, what do you think about Death to Smoochie?
Oh, guys, I've seen Guar. Okay, I get it. I understand. They
Like you've
sprayed
seen pictures of them,
metal.
or you've been to a
They
show.
sprayed me with blood. It was
That's
fun.
cool.
Yeah, no, it was great. I loved it. That being said, this isn't my world. I cannot claim ownership of it. This movie isn't for me. It's for somebody. Did I love this movie? No, I didn't hate it. It was, it looks pretty okay. I'm not even gonna harp on my typical pedantic details. It's fine. The acting is pretty dog shit because it's very clear that they just put their friends and people, and they pulled us. And they just had whoever show up at the location. Like, well, we got less than half of what we would have liked, just like Theoden said.
They stand and they see that there's only 12 people. How did it come to this?
Jeez.
Let them come. He was real excited at first. Like, oh, we're going to put the thing in fucking Craigslist and show up. And he's like, yes, good. Let them come. But then, so how does this come to this?
Storm Crow. But anyway, yeah, no.
Metalhead should have to bury it.
You just have to talk about Two Towers, and I'm on board. Anyway, no, this. As much as I didn't really like it, I'm not gonna say it's bad. So I'm gonna go very, very soft, benevolent, but that's also, I don't know. It's fine. Just go watch it. Whatever. It's good.
Yeah, it's
fine.
on Tubi. It's free.
Yeah,
It's free
Mother rock.
Tubi. If you got your free Tubi subscription, guys, just log on to www.tubi.com/death2metal.html. Log in with your credentials and watch the movie. It's fine.
Yeah.
Zach?
He's here.
Zach, are you with us?
Yep. I am. Yeah. Yep.
Zach
Present.
hasn't moved in 20 minutes.
Present. So Tyler had mentioned that there was something that like kind of couldn't put his finger on this movie and what bothered him with this movie. And I think for me, it's that at no point did I find Zane to be a likable character, nor did I care about his story whatsoever. It's not his fault. I don't think the actor, like, I don't think it's his fault necessarily. Just, I did not enjoy that character. I liked Mariah. I liked Milton a ton.
I was
like,
gonna say, this should have been Milton's story.
Yeah. And I am
so
kind
good.
of I understand why they went with like the goopiness. But I miss the Miltonness. We lost Milton here. And that bummed me out because he was so entertaining. And I would have loved if he was still around quoting the Bible as he killed everybody or something like that, instead of just like this demonic presence. But yeah, I could not get behind Zane. I didn't care. Like when he made the decision to like, I got to go back and save everyone, I didn't buy it because he didn't seem like anyone who gave a shit about anything except for his band. Like it didn't seem like it mattered. The people he knew were dead except for his ex-girlfriend, and he didn't say I have to go back because I love her. It wasn't a Shaun of the Dead or a gay. It was just, you know what I mean? Like it was just, he just had to go in there for whatever reason.
Yeah, I just went.
And so that, I don't know, that bothered me. I will put this slightly benevolent because it looks really good. Like it technically is pretty impressive. And I did like Milton. I like Mariah for the most part. I love the little animated sequence and all that. So yeah, I'll say slightly benevolent. Let's go, Tyler.
Am I the last one?
No. I think Ryan will wrap it up.
I'm gonna bring up that rear.
I'll try to be brief. So I'm gonna. Oh, I wish I had more time. I don't.
You do.
I mean, we have much time.
we
as
have
we
as much
need.
time as we want.
Who's turning on the time?
You guys wait until I'm ready for this diagnosis. No, I don't have the words prepared, but I'll wing it. So
Sure.
I don't want to say that this movie's benevolent, but that's not because the faults of this movie are unique to this movie. So I can't punish it for that. It was fun. It was funny sometimes. It has things that I enjoyed, like literally just kind of seeing some things from my past, like multiverse versions of them. So that was nice. So I feel obligated to give it a soft benevolent. I think what I want to say though is that and this is just, hey, this is an independent filmmaker realizing his own mistakes. So don't take this to heart. There's just so much about this movie that Zach was hitting on the head that none of the characters you really care about, like not even in like the most basic of senses. And so you're just watching like meat puppets walk through a plot about a goopy priest. And so this should have been either Milton's story, or you needed to have a really strong character in place of Zane that made you invested in them and wanted to see them overcome whatever. And I think the best example I can give of the ultimate failings of this is you see Zane in church in like the first couple minutes of the movie, but it has no impact on anything. It's not like he starts like quote. It's not like in the band he wants to start like singing Jesus's praises in the lyrics, and that's a conflict. Like that's something
that's
simple
why
you could have
kicked out of the band.
Yeah, that would have been simple. Why was Zane kicked out? Was he a bad singer? We don't know.
It just is because we need something.
Yes,
he needs to be down in the dumps for the movie.
Yes. So if somebody told me that this was an algorithms like output for metal, monster, concert movie.
Yeah.
I would believe that. I'm not trying to be an asshole to the writers. It's just that when you break it down, that's all it is. So just for anybody out there watching, I would say watch this movie, have fun with it, like have realistic expectations for what it is, and then maybe kind of use it to see like, hey, how could I do this better? And you can do that very well with my own movies. Watch River City Panic, Grace's Room, Butcher the Bakers, learn a lot, don't make the same mistakes, and have fun, gang. Have fun. Mr. Ryan, not a virgin Ziegler. What do you think?
Go pussy!
Ryan, sex haver Ziegler. What do you think?
Let me tell you.
What do you think about this movie? Sorry, let me finish. What do you think about this movie?
I approach this movie like I approached a fine piece of tail.
Oh, Jesus.
So you fuck?
I just watched it and looked at it. I enjoyed Death to Metal. Soft benevolent. I'm not gonna go hard on it. I've always been a fan of hard rock, heavy metal, horror movies. In the 80s, you had one of my favorites is Black Roses. If you haven't seen it, it's streaming everywhere. Check it out. But Trick or Treat, you had a lot of these in the 80s, and they kind of went out of favor for a while. But lately, I've seen more and more. I think Netflix has some sort of metal comedy coming out pretty soon. It's got a guy wearing, the makeup. And then we had Deathgasm a couple of years ago, which I thought was fucking brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely go see that if you haven't. Go see it. You could rent it. You know what I'm saying.
Get out to the theater, folks.
Well, if you could see in the theater, fucking hey, yeah, I would love to.
I can't imagine you would be able to find that.
God, that movie's great. But yeah, you make a heavy metal horror movie and throw a little comedy in there. I'm gonna watch it either way. Because I like this world. I like the metal. I like the absurdity of it. I like that the movie pointed out the absurdity of it through Mariah and through its own. At the same time, loving it, showing it in a light. Like everybody who plays this kind of music, they get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It felt a lot of. It felt like it really felt like metal people wrote these metal jokes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I think your results may vary to how much you like this world. If you really love this and guys like this, you'll probably get a little more out of it than us. But I appreciated it. Though I agree. Zane and not a great character, and I don't think it's the actor's fault. Just not a great character. There wasn't not a lot enough there.
Yeah.
I kept thinking about like where this movie could have started. You could have had start with Zane and Milton as kids. And they were friends. Milton was still into rock, Zane was still into rock as a little kid. Milton was more religious, but they both went to Catholic school. They're best friends. But maybe that P moment from the metalheads, that was like the dividing rod, started, I don't know. You could have had this thing where then their lives departed, went down separate paths, but they're still in the same small town. And Milton's become this fire and brimstone, over the top, insane version of what he was as a kid. And Zane's gone the other way. He's become a metal singer. So their life paths have taken on, and then that could have added some more meat to it once, Milton becomes the monster. That little bit could have given more character to Zane other than just being, the metal guy who's down on the dumps. But that's not what this movie is. It is what it is. And I would say I'd recommend it if you know who you are. If you're listening to this podcast, there's a good chance you would watch this shit anyway. So,
yeah.
And I think the movie looks immaculate. I think it looks great. I think it looked great. I was shocked. I mean, there was effort put into some shots, but it didn't need the effort. I mean, the piss stream thing. I mean, little things like that. This was well shot movie. The editing, it had issues. Sometimes they left a lot of the actors in the lurch, I felt, because the editing wasn't tight enough with dialogue, especially, and so there's those awkward pauses that are left in. That the great thing about film is you can cut those out, but it's fine. So I give it a soft benevolent. I don't know if I'll watch it again ever, but I look forward to seeing what this crew makes next, though. So that's one of my highest compliments. If I watch your indie film and I'm excited to see what you do next, or I'm totally on board with watching what you do next, then that's one of my highest compliments. So I think we got even though they were mostly soft, I think we got full benevolent across the board.
Yeah. It's fully soft, but it's there.
It's a fully soft
benevolent. It's a flaccid benevolent for sure.
Yeah, just a little soft, a little flappy.
You're just kind of hanging out there.
So to cap this episode off, I'm going to share something with
Oh no.
a couple people in this room.
Uh-oh.
In this one room we're all in. Oh.
Most especially not Mr. Ziegler. This is the message that I sent to Mr. Buckley.
No, we're watching this.
Hold on.
I can't know. You can let me know about it.
No,
Ryan,
you can't say anything. I messaged
Ryan,
Joe and I said,
just
down
trust
the
me, buddy.
road, I'd like to do a collector's edition where you pick a terrible, quote unquote, YouTube movie for Ryan and the rest of us to watch. The next message that Joe sent, I guess it was 40 minutes later, but that he probably saw it and immediately responded. He said, hell yeah, what do you think of this? And he sent me the video that I just sent the three of you.
Sent us? Oh, man.
Well, if he's doing that, then he must have seen this in a Reddit thing. This is probably
Yeah.
very popular, right?
Here's
because
the
if you read
description
the
he sent me.
comments, there's like everyone being like, well, when you actually know the real story behind this.
Oh, no.
You know,
Yeah.
Is it a cryptid thing?
No. Nope.
So this is what I told Joe. I said, well, first I said that is ... cancer. I'll give that a shot, but Ryan may say no. Find a plan B that is a little closer to our regular watches, but can still be trash. And so Joe said, cool. Both me and Tad really liked that video.
So is it a video or is it a movie?
I mean,
it's an hour and 10 minutes long.
Yeah, it's
okay.
He just said me and Tad really liked it. But yeah,
is it animated?
We can't say anything because
I would inconclusive.
Okay, so my question
as the official animation
no,
expert
if it's stop motion animation, I'm all over it. But if it's
Ryan, I can't. I'm telling you, man, I'm flipping around. We got to discuss. I'm gonna have to do some research on this because I'm seeing all kinds of mediums.
Would you guys be willing to do this?
Oh yes.
Oh
yeah,
God,
I would,
Trevor,
but
you
it
bastard!
sounds like
I want to do. I want to do this bad.
give me a decade. Give me a decade. Give me a half a decade.
I think I could watch this
and synopsize it.
I think I could.
Are you talking about doing it drunk?
Can I get extra credit?
The movie itself or the video itself is what would make it a collector's edition.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got to do it soon before someone else does because I'm not riding anyone's coattails if I'm going to watch this shit.
We better, like Trevor said, let's do some research and make sure that
is
this
is new.
No.
This video upload was uploaded on May 29th of 2020, so fairly new.
Okay.
However, the content appears to be older. Ryan, don't worry, man.
I don't like Joe getting to fucking do anything. I don't like Joe giving carte blanche.
I don't like him getting laid before me.
I see Ryan's still sour about that. I'm seeing roughly 1997 is what is listed as the date.
A very good year.
I like that.
For
I was
cinema.
alive.
Oh, hold on.
Austin Powers came out.
I'm doing some research here, and this is looking like a classic Buckley move. This isn't even like fringe tip of the internet. This is deep internet. And so
this is the space between the tubes of the internet.
Well, maybe that's what we need.
I'm seeing millions of views in a couple other places on these things. So Joe isn't tapping into something fresh.
No.
Well, Joe will never tap into anything fresh. No, he doesn't. No fucking way.
Fruit for Joe.
Yeah, like Joe would eat fruit.
Well,
he's not eating it.
You could put a rotten banana in his mouth and a new banana. He wouldn't know the difference. He's never had a banana.
And it's all smush.
It's all just mush.
It's all just mush.
Okay, and here's the Reddit post. And here's the fucking Reddit post.
Okay,
well, let me know about it. Let me know.
This is killing him.
But you see, like, okay, the part of me that doesn't want to give Joe anything because he doesn't deserve it because it's the laziest thing he could have dug up makes me want to say no. But the fact that it bothers Ryan is really important to me.
What bothers me is I don't like Joe putting things in front of my eyes because I know there's nothing he can put in front of my eyes that is worth my time.
Fair.
Nothing. And so that's the thing. But if it's for the show, that's different. I'll do it because it's for the bit. But if in real life, I'm not watching anything he recommends.
What if he puts a signed lease, an acceptance letter for a job?
That'll be the day.
Videos of him having sex with your girlfriend.
That'd be the only thing. If he puts a lease at the end of it, it's fine.
Oh, it's this fuck. Oh, Joe, hold on. I've been zipping around the internet looking at this. I
might know it too.
I've seen a handful of YouTube videos already discussing this at length.
Okay, do we show Ryan and then let Ryan make the determination?
I kind of love that Ryan's like a baby bird waiting for mom to spit in its mouth.
I mean, there's absolutely no way he's gonna watch this if we show him. So
I don't think so.
I know. I will. No, I'm telling you, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it for the show. I will watch it for the show.
Tyler, this is your call.
As dumb as it may be, I just want. I might already know about it.
All right. I think Ryan, I'm gonna tell you what it is. And you decide if we do it or not. So this is your choice.
Okay.
The films of Nanny Lynn. It looks like it's a compilation of 3 short films, maybe more, that were made on an Amiga computer or some sort of old computer in 1997. And it seems like some older woman. I don't know the contents of the videos, other than I'm assuming they're probably family friendly, but yet somewhat haunting.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, that doesn't sound terrible.
Well, Ryan, look at the video. Look at the
video. Yeah, show me send a screenshot.
I'm sending you a link.
Oh, I don't want a link. Is it on a YouTube link?
Yeah.
I don't want to be hooked onto some weird.
Oh no, the whole thing is
Daily
on YouTube.
Motion or whatever the fuck.
What did you say? Alien Motion?
Daily Motion. Remember that
weird P-Hub?
P-Hub.
There's some.
That's where Nick's at right now. I can tell.
Yeah.
Show us your hands.
I can't. They're covered in cum.
Oh, they're stuck to my wiener.
They're covered in doom.
My only. I'm conflicted because I'm conflicted only because who recommended this? If somebody else was like, "Hey, there's this weird animation," and they sent me this link, because I'm not going to click on it. Because if I watch it, I'll watch it with you guys. But I wouldn't hesitate.
Reddit.
Okay.
We all know it was Reddit.
I wouldn't hesitate, but the fact that it's coming from, the dregs of the world, that's what makes me pause. I don't want to watch some, I don't know what, but so I don't want it to be left up to me, but if we take a vote, and I'll go, take a vote, because I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not going to click on it because I'm not going to watch it if I don't have to, but.
Well, maybe we'll punish.
I mean, you guys have read the Reddits. I'm not going to get into those weeds, but what are the Reddits say?
Maybe we'll reverse Uno Buckley, and if we watch this, then he has to watch like
Sound of Music.
Yeah, something like that.
Hey, I just watched that the other day.
it would literally kill Joe.
I can't imagine him sitting through that fucking thing.
Sound of Music, more like the sound of cum.
We make him watch Spartacus because he's, Kubrick technically directed it, although Joe will tell you it was a director for hire, but he's not going to want to go hard on it, just still because it is Kubrick.
I love when we catch him in a Kobayashi Maru no-win scenario. I love it.